is big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen, and of course, I'm joined by the Tuckster, Friar Tuck, and we're in for some exciting Friday night no limit action.
Yeah, it's a great game.
10-20 no limit hold'em, and we've got a few action players at the table, including Jesus and Jay.
I mean, the game is fabulous.
People are familiar with the show. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Let's do that.
And let's see the table, and let's go around and introduce these guys.
Yeah, why not? Now, at seat 1, we've got Eric. Looks like Eric Magier. Don't know really much about this guy, but he slapped me 5 and wanted me to give him some good luck. So good luck, Eric.
Is this the first time he's been on the show?
Well, I'm not familiar with him. I recognize him, but I'm just not familiar with him. Seat 2, we've got Lee Banks.
130.
And obviously not there, but he's taking a break. Back in a second. Seat 3, we've got Marciano Herrero.
Yep.
Seat 4, we've got Midnight there. That's Hav Alabas. Freshly groomed. Look at that beard. Seat 5, we've got Frank Gonzalez. Frank's a pretty crazy guy. Seat 6, we've got everybody's favorite, Jesus. There he is. Jesus.
If we can take a look there. Yeah.
Look at this. Jesus is coming, folks. Look busy.
And then there's another one over there, too. But I think Mo's head is in the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, and obviously that one's Jesus Rules.
Yep.
Seat 7, we've got Jay
There it is.
Khan. And Jay's a great guy, and he's an action player. He likes to gamble it up. Seat 8, we've got Barry Woods. Barry, do not call me Greenstein Woods. And seat 9, we've got Mo. Good old Mo.
And we're going to hop in here to the first hand. It looks like Barry Woods has bottom 2 pair here.
And look at that.
What would Jesus do? Barry Woods has come out. The board here reads ace, king, queen. We're getting right into the hand here. Now, Hav has got ace-7 of clubs over there. I think Hav is too good of a player to really get involved here. Wow, he's going to make the call. I mean, is that the type of flop you're looking for here with ace-7?
You know, I didn't see the pre-flop action,
right.
So sometimes it's difficult to know exactly, is somebody in there with a big ace or not.
Action moves over here to Jay. He only has middle bottom pair here. And Barry has got bottom 2 pair. He bet 400, and Hav made the call. And we've got about, looks like $1,000 pot here.
I have 2 pairs.
Is Barry all in?
Turn is a 5.
What are they talking about then?
I don't know. And Barry's going to bet here again. He's going to bet 400.
Barry told him what he had.
And Hav is going to call. Wow, I guess Hav doesn't believe him.
I thought for a second they were soft playing each other.
Yeah.
But I guess they're just rhetoric.
And here we go to the river. And the river's a 7, and Hav makes 2 pair on the river.
Oh, what a suck out. And that's brutal. But you know what, though? Hav can't even play it hard.
He can't raise. He can only call.
I think that's all he can do.
And it's an $800 bet. And Barry's going to be sick when he sees this. He got rivered. And that's pot is at least $3,000 there. Again, we hopped in right in the middle of the hand, so a little bit difficult there. And Hav is saying, I didn't think you had 2 pair. Hav said that I have 2 pair.
Hearts?
I think he's a pretty solid player. Now, obviously, Barry Woods is betting in there, but what really can you beat? If I'm going to play ace-7 of clubs, that's really not the flop I'm looking for. If someone who's going to bet.
I'll throw something at you. You can beat, say, 2 hearts, obviously. You can beat a jack. You can beat a king. I mean, I strong that. I don't even know.
Right.
Well, there's our first chip count of the night, and Barry Woods has the most money, but obviously just took a hit. He has 6,000 in chips. We've got Hav there with 5,000. Jesus with 5,000. Wow. A lot of money on this table, huh?
Yep.
Marciano bringing up the rear with 1,000.
And, of course, if you want to follow a live thread that's started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments, the official Live the Bike thread. For December 16th, you can also email us here, live at thebike.com. And Jesus made a raise here. He made it 60. King, queen suited. Marciano here is going to call with king, ragged diamonds. And Frank. Wow, Dave, we got a few action. Is Frank a Mexican poker player? I think I've seen him over there. He is a Mexican poker player. And he loves No Limit. He's in there with 8-3 offsuit. We got three-way action here. Seat 3 is in the hand with King 3 of diamonds. And the flop comes 6-4-4 here.
And I got to tell you, I've been playing a lot more No Limit over the last 5-6 weeks. Part of the reason I'm playing a lot more No Limit is because I'm watching games like this and I'm just salivating.
Well, Jesus continues to bet here. He bets 200. He has the best hand here, Dave. And he's speaking with his buddy there.
Yeah, and obviously it's in English only, but I guess if your head's up with another Spanish-speaking player, you could probably do it.
Right. You know, it's funny, I wondered, because you take a look at some of these Mexican poker players, and I've gone over there, Dave, and just watched the game a little bit, and I think that, you know,
This is Bart's hypothesis,
well, they're
folks.
married to single pair, top pair, because Mexican poker is basically 5-card stud. And obviously in 5-card stud, top pair is the best hand normally.
Well,
the highest pair.
One pair is,
Right.
is a decent
One
hand.
pair.
Now,
The
there is a
highest
joker in the game, so
Right.
you do have to be careful about that.
Well, seat 4 here, that's Hob. He's got
But like a
pocket
pair of
queens.
aces in that game is
Oh,
huge.
Yeah. He's going to raise here. He's got pocket queens. He's going to make it 120. And look at this. C5 is going to call with King 4 offsuit. That's Frank, so we know he is action.
Well, he's got its hidden value. That King 4
how
offsuit.
quickly Mo mucks ace jack on the button. The Hob's under the gun.
Yes. Let's explain the player there.
And we
Now,
are-
Frank can make two flushes. He can make a heart flush or a club flush.
Of course, the heart flush is dominating. Look at this. He spikes his overcard.
Wow, that's just a terrible card. Terrible card for Hob. Let's see how he plays it.
Well, he's going to make a bet here.
240.
He bets 240, and you know that Frank's not going to go anywhere.
See, now this is the thing. Remember we were talking about me not betting my kings. The same thing here. You bet queens here. Do you know where you're at right now? You have no idea.
Turns a 3. And now Hob is going to check, and Frank's going to bet.
Well, good for Frank, but you're wondering now, does Frank have clubs or does he have...
And look at this. Hob makes the check call here.
Well, you put yourself in a tough spot.
And the pot's now over $1,000. Here we go to the river. The river's a queen. Hob sucked out again.
Oh,
and he checked it on the river. And Frank wisely checked right behind him.
I can't believe he checked that.
Wow. How do you check it?
I guess he was hoping for the check raise there on the river. Man,
Hob sucked out twice.
I think he was hoping for a little bit of a check raise there.
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff.
Sure.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is when you have a Mexican poker player that's married to top pair, and really, it's almost like some of the times these guys don't really have a concept of kickers that hold them as a kicker game.
Right.
You have top pair and hold them, it's still usually a pretty big hand, and normally will win the hand. But you've got to take into consideration your kicker.
Right.
So if they hit top pair, that's really where they lose a lot of money.
Right. Well, now obviously,
You know.
and oftentimes heads up. Top pair is good.
Right. Right.
Wow, but Hob gets lucky again. Wow. About 6 minutes into the show, and Hob has already sucked out twice.
Yep.
Look at Jesus there, also freshly groomed. Sporting a nice goatee there.
You got me in the river.
Limp here.
If I don't check blind,
And seat 1 actually plays usually in our 3 to 5 game, Dave.
Oh, okay, that's why I didn't recognize him. So he usually plays on Tuesday nights. Interesting, okay.
5 players in.
Limped around here. We got 5-way action, and that means it's a $100 pot. The blinds in this game are 10 and 20. Jack, deuce, deuce here. Now, Marciano there's got Jack 6. He's going to check it from early position in C3. And Jesus is going to bet here, Dave. King high.
Yeah, he's going to take a shot at it and see where everybody's at.
He's going to bet the pot, about 100.
Then how can you call if you put me on a king?
You know, some guys wouldn't even get involved here with Jack 6, but he's going to make the check call.
You good?
Interesting here. Frank's actually asking Hob, how'd you call if you put me on a king?
Okay, fellas, we're heads
Well, a
up.
heads up here. Jesus has got 1 overcard. Here we go to the turn. Turn's a king, Dave. This is suck out night already.
Yeah.
It gets checked to Jesus, and he's going to bet.
200.
He's going to bet 200. He's going to bet the pot again. And Marciano check
Yeah.
calls.
Now, the only problem with Marciano's hand here, okay, he can't beat any real jack. He can't beat a deuce. What can you beat except a pure bluff? Which obviously Jesus was doing, but now what's he doing?
There we go.
Well, he's made the check call here. And here we go to the river. And the river's a 4, and Jesus' hand is good. Does he put a value bet in here? I think he just checked it down there, Dave.
Yep.
I got to tell you, I mean, if I made the bet like that as a bluff on the flop, and I got called, and the turn came, and the guy has not shown any strength, so I don't think he has a deuce. You almost have to put him on a jack there. Why wouldn't you bet the river?
Put a little value bid on the river? No,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Although there are some cagey players, and I'm not saying Marciano's this, I'm not saying Jesus is this, but there are some players, and I'll throw this at you. If you had, say, 3 deuce, okay? You were in the hand with 3 deuce or 5 deuce, you're in the big blind, right? I don't want to push it that
Yeah,
hard.
you can't really even play the hand that hard out of position.
Exactly, because I know if you have a jack, you're not going to call a big bet for me anyway,
Yeah.
and if you have a deuce, you probably have me out kicked.
Actually, I had a similar hand like that happen, Dave, in limit hold'em. Against normal, non-tough competition. I had deuce 3 in the blind. I bet out and I had trip deuces. And the turn came and I bet out again. Somebody raised me. I have to shut down there.
Yeah,
And I
oh.
almost think I'm beat.
I mean, unless they're on a pure bluff, all you have really there is a bluff catcher.
Right.
Unless you get lucky and the board pairs.
Right.
And you make a full house also.
Yeah.
Or you hit your kicker.
Again, this is against non.
But in a no-limit game where your whole stack is up for grabs,
Right.
you got to be careful with that.
Absolutely. 7-way action here, limped around. It's a $140 pot. 9-5 deuce here with a couple of clubs.
Now,
Looks like-
Hov's got a 9, and so does Jesus. But Jesus is he's a way ahead here because of kicker, and Hov's got kicker problems.
Well, Hop is going to come out and bet here.
And what would Jesus do? He's going to check it. Looks, no, it's not. It's going right to Frank here,
No.
and Frank's going to bet.
Frank's actually Hob bet.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, Hob bet, and Frank's called with a straight draw. And Jesus calls here with 8-9. Jay's got middle pair over there. I think he called as well in seat 7. It's a $90 bet.
Wow, and this pot's suddenly about, what, $450 now?
Yeah, well, it's 360 plus 120.
Wow,
So,
$480.
480. Here we go to the turn.
I've been witness to.
Turn is a 10. It's a third club, but no one's on the club draw. Jesus still has the best hand here.
Yeah,
And he's going to bet. It gets checked to him.
good for him.
Looks like 200 here. Again, a stack of brown, Dave. A stack of brown is $10. And so, our stack, the brown chip is $10, so our stack is 200.
Right.
It's 20 chips
And
to a
his,
stack.
yeah, that stack was 1 chip light, so it's a $190 bet.
Yeah.
Pretty small bet, $190 bet into a $480 pot.
It is a small bet. And Jay quickly calls. And Hav is really put in a tough spot. I mean, is he going to get involved? The third club, all he had was a
Come
weak
on,
9.
you can't beat anything. Get rid of it, Hoff. Easy, yeah,
He's going to fold.
If Hoff stayed in, though, the way his night's going so far, he'd probably spike a 3.
And Frank is folded here, so we're heads up. Jesus against Jay. Jay has 5-7.
Yeah, and he needs a club or 5 or 7.
What's up, fellas?
And here we go to the river. River's a king. That's not going to do it.
I imagine this might go check. Let's see.
Yes, it does, Steve. And Jesus is going to take it down. Over a $500 pot.
Well, there you go, Jesus, right away.
Yeah.
Making a statement. Takes down a couple of pretty decent-sized pots. And that pot was about 380, 480, what was it, 960 there?
Well, it was just it was an additional 380 there on top of what we had said it was 480. So 860, right?
860, thank you. 860.
Yeah. It's interesting, Mexican poker, it's commonly spread in California casinos. I don't know if you necessarily find it in Vegas. But, you don't see any literature about it. Like, I don't see any, say, non-Mexican people playing the game. It's almost like a game that Mexican people play, Mexican poker.
Yeah, predominantly.
It's not really written about the strategies. I've never seen any type of literature about it.
Right. Well, I mean, like Barry and I, we get together and play Jewish poker all the time. And we don't let non-Jews play.
Okay, go.
Limped around here.
He's got a turn.
Limped around, huh? A couple of decent hands here. We got King, Queen in seat 3. We have Ace-7 of spades and Ace-7 of clubs out there. The flop comes out garbage, so look at that. 9-5 deuce rainbow. Mo has got top pair. But Mo is not in.
Yep.
So nobody has a 9 here. And I want to say Hob is the best hand here with Jack 5. But it checks around.
Turns a 7, and now Lee and Barry both have pairs now.
Yeah, well, that's the case 7 because Jay's got a 7 as well.
Barry's got to come out and bet. And he has the best hand. He's going to bet 60.
Let's see if Lee doesn't want to get involved here. He's the same hand as Barry.
Fold.
And you wonder if Jay is going to call this.
Well, how about Frank with the deuce? He makes the call. Wow. And Jay calls, he's out kicked. Most likely, Dave, I'd imagine that Barry's just going to show his hand down in position here on the river.
Yeah, generally you want to, I would imagine, in this case.
Well, the river's a 5.
That doesn't change anything. The only player who had the 5 was Hobb, and he's out of the hand. You see the nature of limit hold'em, though. If this was limit hold'em, they'd all be in there.
Right.
And then it's like whoever gets there, and it turns out Hobb would have won this hand.
Well, it gets checked to Barry, and he's deciding whether he wants to bet or not. Now, there it is. They have the showdown. And A7's going to be good here.
Fives and deuces.
A7.
7 here. 7 with an ace. 7 with an
Barry's going to take it down.
The nuts. Big time nuts. Oh, the high card stuff.
Button's going to move over here to...
Thank you, Barry.
There we go. Barry takes it down.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 5.
I can't have that. I got to get
And Dave, look at this over here in Barry Woods' hole card camera.
small, Dave. I can take them. I take them pretty well.
That's right. Without a doubt.
Well, Jesus has got to turn that thing around, though. He's got to realize it's kind of a window there.
Big blind there, small blind there.
Having fun here at Live at the Bike, folks. We're playing No Limit Hold'em, guys. Lines are 10 and 20. And did you see the final table that is going to be at the World Poker Tour?
Yeah, very, very
Bellagio?
interesting.
Doyle Brunson, Phil Locke, and unconfirmed, but I'm hearing that Phil Locke, the Unabomber, actually might play here next Wednesday.
We were talking to Yosh. He might play here on Poker Blues
Yeah.
Whale Night on Wednesday.
Well, that's what
and he's good
Yosh
friends
told
with
me.
Antonio. So, I mean, it would be amazing if you could get him to play as well. And he's supposedly a really good cash game player.
Be really interesting to watch him here.
Yeah.
And look at Marciano's hand here. Marciano's flopped the nuts.
Yep, he's got a straight here. Queen, Jack, 8 here.
And
the
nobody
pot-
has anything.
Pot was limped around, and Marciano's going to put some money in here. Davies in late position. Why not? And wow, Jesus is going to call here with deuce 8. You know, sometimes Jesus' game, like, sometimes I'm actually impressed by his game, but sometimes he kind of makes, these types of mistakes. Sometimes you can really, make a call to try to spike trips or 2 pair if you're really deep, Dave, but not on this type of board, obviously.
Not generally.
Turn
yeah.
it here as a
Well,
jack.
8 deuce is also one of those guys you go, what are you really trying to hit here?
Right. Turn as a jack, and I believe that Jay came out and made a bluff at it. I don't even know what he was doing there on the flop, and he bet 100.
And he's trying to make a play, and
Yeah, Marciano moved all in. He shows the straight.
he takes it down.
Yeah, there it is.
Flipper.
If you have any questions or comments, please email us at liveatthebike.com.
Yeah.
Try to keep the show as interactive as possible, so we do appreciate it. You
Yeah.
can also follow us on a live thread at 2plus2.com. Just go to World Poker Tour and other events.
Yeah.
Click on the Live at the Bike thread for December 16th.
Blueberry or Big Berry? Big Berry. Only one Big Berry.
Button's going to move over there. Seat 6. That's Jesus. Dave, we had our office Christmas party here yesterday. Casino Christmas party. It was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually was playing. I really didn't, cause obviously 'cause I was working last night, so
Yeah.
I didn't only went in there for a second. But I know you and Isaac were partying, and Ray obviously were dancing it up a storm, huh?
Limped around here, and Hobbs got pocket 10s. He chose to play it slow. And boy, we've seen a lot of pots.
In
limp.
late position too.
Yeah, it's a $140 pot, 7-way action here. Deuce 4-3. Looks like we got deuce 3 there in seat 5.
See, that's the only problem with in early position. I can understand it with tens, but in late position now,
Wow.
you have no idea where you're at.
Dave.
And Frank has flopped 2 pair.
And we got 2 people with overpairs. 2 people with overpairs. And Barry's going to come out here with an open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet right out with queen 5. Goes over to Marciano. And look at this. Marciano wisely does not get involved.
Wow.
He mucks pocket 8s.
So a small little bet.
Well, there's so many people behind him. Maybe he just didn't want to
Wow.
take it.
I mean, that's just. I mean, it's obviously the right laydown, but man, that's.
Well, here
Really
we go.
presumptuous.
I mean, this is almost like playing a big pocket pair with this type of board. Hobbs going to raise to 275 here, and Frank just calls. Wow, how can you just call that board?
Yeah.
Bottom
a lot of
2
cards
pair.
can scare you here.
$280. So Hobb raised here, and Barry's thinking, well, what has Hobb raised me with? He's
Now,
a pretty
it's a-
solid player.
Now it's a rainbow board, so you're thinking, okay, I can go for the open-ended straight draw. The problem is what happens if Hobb already has 5-6?
And Barry is wisely not going to get involved here. But this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Here we go to the turn. The turn's a 5, and that might scare both players.
Yeah, it's going to scare both players.
And it goes check, check. And the river here's a jack, and you know what? Frank with 2 pair here is good.
Yeah, this is going to check down.
2 pair.
And would you ever, I mean, you talk about value betting on the river. Sometimes you don't necessarily want to value bet a hand that you don't want to take a lot of heat with the check raise from and, expose your whole stack to. I wonder if you would ever bet deuce 3 there, because what exactly would call you that wouldn't have you beat? And again, you don't necessarily want to open yourself up to that big check raise.
Right, exactly. Now it's interesting here. I don't think Frank Gonzalez has that much money.
Yeah.
And it's definitely possible that that Hav can check the ace or the 6 maybe one time. But is he really going to check it twice? I mean, Hav might. Hav often checks and joins the check raise in the river,
Right,
so you never know.
Remember, he did it earlier tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with bottom 2 pair, it's not,
Yeah.
can't take that much heat. And actually, Frank Gonzalez does have some money.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it looks like he's got about over 2,000.
Now, Marciano's going to limp in here with ace. I got to tell you, I'd like the fold to pocket 8s. Barry Woods comes out and bets. You get 6 people behind you. Pot was limped around. The board is 4 deuce 3. I don't really necessarily want to get involved with that
Right.
with Marciano. I'm talking about here.
Oh,
7-way action here. It was limped around. 7-4-4 here. And Jay has the best hand. He's on the butt with deuce 7.
I mean, that's the problem when you limp in with 10s in late position.
Yeah.
You have no idea where you're at. Why not at least limit the field, buy yourself the button?
100.
And I believe that Jay has come out and bet 100 here with the best hand. He's got deuce 7 suited on the button. And Hov's got a flush draw. He's going to make the check call. Interesting hand that Hov is playing here. 10-5 of diamonds. You go to the turn, Dave. And it's a 10. Well, that was one of Hov's outs. And it goes check, check, and the river's a deuce.
2-4 is good.
And it's just going to check down here. 10s and 4s there, obviously, would play the best 5 cards in no limit in any order. Is going to win there. It beats 7s and 4s. The deuce actually doesn't play there at the end.
That's my night, man. Here?
Button moves over there to seat 8.
Thank you all for your emails, sending them in.
Yeah.
Hey, William, how you doing? Cheers to you, right back to you.
Looks like we got pocket aces over here, and it's for Hav. And seat 5 there, Frank's got pocket 10s.
This could get interesting.
We've got an early position limper. And it looks like Hav is going to raise it up here. He's going to make it $180. And you might say, well,
9 times.
The blinds are 10-20, but we've seen people call, though.
And this guy's calling.
Yeah, Frank's going to call with pocket 10s. And Jesus is going to call with queen 4 of hearts. Feeling lucky.
It's suited.
And Jay's going to call with 7-3 of hearts.
Oh, and Hov's got to hate it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Hov's just got to look at it. Because not only, it's I don't mind if 2 or 3 people call me and I'm in position on them, but 2 people have called behind him. No, 3 people have called behind him.
And Dave, and look at this guy's going to call with ace 10 off suit.
Well, now that 5 people are in, he's going, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. And Marciano's actually probably in the worst shape of all of everybody.
Oh, yeah. Aces and 10. We've got quickly a $900 pot here, pre-flop.
I mean, can Marciano actually win this hand?
Jack,
There's a
10
10.
Jack. Wow, Frank flops a full house. No one's got a Jack here, though.
This might save Hav, though. All those players in there, that's a scary, scary board for aces, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, Hov's going to come out and bet here with the overpair. He's going to bet 500, about half the size of the pot.
Well, he's got to see where he's at.
Now, Frank's flop bottom full. There's a lot of, how do you play flopping bottom full? I sometimes like to play it real hard, Dave. You hope that someone's got a Jack here.
Well, he is. He just went all in.
He moves all in.
Give me a move.
He's going to move all in here. Now, we can see that no one has a Jack here. And we're going to see how much it is. It looks like he's got at least 2,000 there.
But I guess the question is,
He's got a $1,000 chip, Dave. He's moved all in straight up for 3,000.
Well, the pot is now, after he calls to 500, the pot is about 1,500, so he's raising it up an additional 2,500 on top of that.
It's about $4,000 pot. And the pot is about 2,500 to call. We got a bet by 500 by Hav, and Frank has moved all in. And Hav's trying to figure out, would this guy fast play a jack? Well, he's got better than jacks. He's got better than jacks here. And Hav is trying to get an accurate count, Dave.
28,
Yeah.
And again,
50,
before this raise, the pot is about 1,900. We'll see how much more it is here.
60, 28,
Now, the interesting thing is,
90.
everybody can say, well, why didn't Frank just call and keep some people
28,
in?
Full raise.
The interesting thing is if somebody else had a jack,
Right.
they might have called also.
It's about a $2,900 more, Dave.
I got to tell you, that's a heck of a big bet, though. I mean, I just don't understand what he's scared of, though. Why does he want to try to keep somebody in? Somebody might have king-queen.
Oh.
Keep him in there.
2,900 more. So the pot is basically, it's about $4,800.
And the more I'm thinking about this, I understand raising. I definitely like raising, but make it 1,000.
28.90.
What's the rush to make it so much money? I mean, what are you scared of there?
2,900 to call here. The pot's 4,800. And Hav is really thinking, would the guy play a jack like this? And again, he's got better than a jack. He's got bottom full.
Well, that's the question. He's going,
Yeah.
wait a second. If you have a jack, why are you playing it so hard?
Right. But that's sometimes what we preach, though. It's almost like the reverse.
No, without
Yeah.
a doubt, but you're in position on Hav here. By betting so much, you're going to make. Hav can't call this. He really can't.
And he's trying to get a read here on Frank.
I just don't. Maybe I'm crazy, but you look at the player and you don't want to judge a book by its cover, but he looks awfully comfortable, doesn't he? I mean, look at him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's sweating it really too much.
I mean, come on. He looks like he's like, give me a margarita and a woman. I'm ready to play. He knows he's winning this pot. He's already counting the money. He's already spent it.
And one of the aces is dead. I mean, Hav is drawing to one out.
I mean, Frank was drawing a one out too, and he got it. That is the case 10, by the way.
Hav says that I'm going
Okay, let's
to
see him
show you
both
this
set.
one hand.
I would have beat this hand.
See, I don't like showing that hand.
Well, that's why Hav did it.
Yeah.
Hav said, I'm going to show you this hand,
Right.
hoping that Frank would show him his hands.
Right.
And see, I got to tell you, and the turn would have brought a 4,
Yeah.
and the river would have brought a deuce.
deuce.
Obviously, nothing changes.
Right.
This card costs you a lot of money.
I understand playing something hard,
Right.
Did you see the river? I got them both
but you're
on here.
really
I don't
playing
think
it
I can
harder
find
than
all
you
of
need to there, aren't you?
Well, the only thing I can say about, though, that, Dave, is if the guy calls
Okay.
on the flop,
Right.
and everyone else basically is going to fold behind him, what
Maybe.
does Hav now do on the turn?
Well, they might not have, though. I mean, you never know. Marciano might have called ace-10. But okay. But let's say they all fold.
They all fold.
Okay.
What does Hav do here, like, if a blank comes on the turn?
Besides shit in his pants.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I understand that you say it was a really, really big bet. And the problem there, the thing that, and Hav even said it, what saved Hav and what really screwed Frank
Is
was
that
the
five
fact that
people
there
were
were
in.
2 jacks. There were 2 jacks there.
And then 5
Yeah.
people are in there, right? Okay, so what does Hav do? I don't know. Does Hav bet again?
Well, then if the guy raises, he's playing it like a jack. So it's almost like he's trying to fast play the flop to try to get more action. Do you see what I'm saying? The Hav's not stupid. He makes another little bet here on the turn. The guy raises. I think Hav is almost more likely to fold it right there.
He might.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But you're right. The re-raise all in was really big.
right? If the guy smooth calls him and Hav checks the turn, maybe the guy checks also. Then maybe Hav throws a little $500 bet there, and he raises it 1,500 on the river. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you can play the hand a million different ways, but that way didn't work.
No. How about there's also could go through a theory of raising the minimum as well, making it 1,000 on the
There's a
flop.
million theories you can
Yeah.
make. You might even just smooth call, and then hopefully a jack behind you
Right.
re-raises it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if there's a jack behind you, they're going to pop it. Then maybe a trapped Hav also in between. I mean, you've got a well-hidden hand there. Because if somebody else had a jack, nobody's going to put you on a full house, even if somebody has ace jack, king jack, something like that.
Well, Frank has the best hand here, and he's made a call. Eric came out and bet here with king jack in early position, and Frank has called, and Jay is called behind with ace 10, Dave. I mean, what is Jay trying to look to hit here? And Eric looks like he's going to fire again, but you
Wow.
know Frank's not going anywhere.
100.
And this is where Eric's got to know. He's got no pair, no draw.
200.
And actually, Frank is going to raise now. He
Good for him.
called the flop. Now he's going to raise.
I mean, the funny thing is, king, queen, that's the kind of hand, to me, you want to raise the flop.
Right.
Because if an ace comes out, you're in trouble.
And Eric's going to make the call here? Are you kidding me? Are we looking at the correct cards? It's the king jack.
Yes, we are.
I mean, he's drawing dead.
Yes, he
He's
is.
drawing dead. The river's a deuce.
Is he going to make a move here?
Well, it's certainly a nice blank card for king, queen.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We had a lot of fun watching me play out of my comfort zone on Wednesday, and if you say that Eric is familiar playing normally plays in the 3 to 5 game, maybe this is a little bit out of his comfort zone.
Well, Eric checked, and Frank just checked right behind him.
Yeah.
With king, queen. And again, it's one of these times where it's an obvious probably bet in limit hold'em, but no limit do you really want to bet that hand on the river. Although,
Misread that hand.
seat 1 doesn't really have many chips, and he said he misread the handing. That's what we're getting word from the table. And
That makes
I think I
sense.
believe him.
I almost have to.
Yeah, he says he misread his hand. Maybe he thought he had king, queen.
I mean, how he actually calls the raise on the turn, I don't understand.
Right.
But obviously, when somebody's playing out of their comfort zone, you can see a lot of weird things. Sometimes they play more aggressive than they normally do. Sometimes they play it really tight. You never know. Interesting to see how Eric plays it tonight. I don't know. Now, back to that pocket tens, and I don't want to harp on it too much. I just want to say, to me, I look at that hand and I go, I don't know what was maybe the correct way to play it, but I know he made the minimum on that hand. That's all. I mean, in the end of it, you have to look at it and go, well, he made the absolute minimum against pocket aces.
That was good. That was real fucking brilliant.
Well, there's going to be a lot of analysis about that hand.
Yeah.
And the more and more I think about it, the more and more, even though I like fast play things, and we'll get to this after this
Well, there
hand.
are some things to fast play.
Yeah.
Okay?
Barry,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I have, like, Jack 5 there,
Right.
I'm going to fast play it because I'm scared of a straight also. But I've got a full house already.
Barry is he's made a little raise here. He's got ace king of clubs. He made it 80 to go.
It's my fault.
In late position, too.
Yeah.
Wow, look at everybody's jumping in here.
Wow, king 4, G3's played it pretty tight all night. He's going to call. And Hoff is going to call out of position here with 3-4 offsuit.
Yeah, and people wonder why I'm stopping to play limit. I'm playing no limit now. Look at this game.
Frank's
Raise
got,
$80 and everybody's calling.
Frank's got a deuce 6 of spades. And Jesus is in there with ace grand offsuit.
Wow.
And this is the problem with Jesus, because if he hits an ace, is he going to go anywhere? 6-way action here.
Well, now we'll
and
find
there
out.
it is, ace 9 queen, all diamonds.
Yeah, and Jay has the highest diamond in the thing, but Jesus has the 8 of diamonds.
And obviously Barry's hit top pair with ace king.
But can you really like it that much? Wow.
But Jesus is going to come out and bet right away. He's going to bet 200, and with the caller in between, can you even get involved with the hand if you're Barry Woods?
Well,
I mean, my goodness.
I mean, there's a couple of ways to play this hand if you're Barry.
Yeah.
You can smooth call it, and if a safe card comes on the turn, you can really pop it. Or you
Right.
can pop it right now and try to take it down right now. Or at least get it heads up.
Well, he's going to call. I think he's playing it a little bit safe here.
Yeah. Well, he wants to see what these guys do on the turn.
Pot's about $1,000 now.
You don't want to raise and then,
And
you know.
look at Jay chase the, what is that, the second nut now? Second nut diamond.
Okay, 3 players.
Well, here we go to the turn. Turns a 4.
And that's actually the perfect, like, nice, safe
And
card.
look at this, Jesus checks.
Right, and see, this is exactly what Barry should do. You see how they react in the turn, and now you got to put in a
now
huge
he's
bet.
really going to put a bet in
Oh, you
there.
got to put about $1,000.
700.
Well, he's going to bet $700 into a $1,000 pot here.
I would have liked even more than that. Really put the pressure on these guys. Get that king or that
I
jack of
just
diamonds
can't
out.
see Jesus going anywhere. I've still never seen him really lay down top pair.
Right.
Now, again, unless it's an ultra-safe card here on the river. Oh, wait a minute. Jesus is going to move all in here with ace-8 of diamonds.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Well, I was about to ask, what would Jesus do? And that's the answer.
Looks like it's 2,600 here, and is that total or more? We'll get word.
So it's an $800 bet, so it's $1,800 more.
$700 bet. So
Oh,
yeah,
$1,900
so
more.
$1,900 more.
So
And
the pot is now, you want to say 2,400 plus 19.
yeah, what,
We're looking at
4,300?
4,300, 19 to call.
1,900 to call.
And I got to tell you, I like the way Barry played this hand. I mean, it's interesting. Some people would have said, why not be a little more aggressive on the flop? Well, you don't know if Jesus or Jay actually flopped the flush. But then by checking it and checking it, you go, wait a second now. Let me see if I can do something.
You know, if Jesus made this move on me, Dave, definitely ace with a diamond would definitely come into my mind as one of the high, possible hands that he might have here.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, though. He could be playing that. He also... It's hard to know because Jesus usually doesn't push unless he has something. But what is something in his eyes
Right.
is different than what is something in your eyes.
I think something here is top pair with a diamond draw.
But could ace 9 be in there too?
Got a hand, Jesus?
How about queen 4? Queen 4 of hearts.
Anything.
Yeah.
He could have jack 10 of diamonds. He could have 2 small diamonds. Who knows? He usually doesn't
And has
slow
Jesus
play.
showed a card here?
He usually doesn't check raise, though, with a big, big hand.
Well, he's pushed the cards towards Barry. He's goading Barry here.
And it's 1,900 more. The pot is 4,300.
And we've
He's
seen-
getting a little more than 2 to 1.
Yeah, we've seen Barry Woods make big calls.
And in the end, it's ace king. He's only got 1 pair, top pair.
Yeah. And he shows the ace of
Trying to get a
clubs.
reaction.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Look at this.
He's trying to get a reaction out of him. Well, if you're going to show him the card, Barry, make sure you look at his face. Oftentimes, if you show somebody a card, you can really get the true reaction of if they like it or not.
And he lays it down, Dave.
Wow.
And Jesus bluffed him out of a pot. And he showed him an ace.
Well, that doesn't do anything for
Wow.
Barry. Who knows? He could have 2 pair. Who knows?
Yep.
And the river would have been
Offsuit 10.
offsuit 10. There you go, 10
Yep.
of hearts.
They don't like rabbit hunting.
Unbelievable stuff.
And Barry Woods would have won a $6,200 pot
Yep.
had he called.
You know, it's funny because we've seen Barry Woods make calls that were a lot bigger than that, say with not even top pair. We've seen him make calls with ace king high. There, he obviously had top pair, but, you know, he was scared of the diamonds possibly playing the player. We haven't really seen Jesus make a move there. But again, it's kind of like a thing where if you have a tell on someone, their idea of strength might be different than everyone else's idea of strength.
Exactly.
Right?
Without a doubt. Sometimes you'll be like, wait a second, there's no way this guy would bet unless he thinks he has the nuts or a really
Right.
great hand. And you go, so he must have a straight. But he thinks 2 pairs the nuts.
Right, right.
So it's sometimes the toughest guys to play against are guys like Ed, guys like Jesus, guys
Right.
like Jay.
Right.
You know, you'll see Barry make big calls against the professional poker players because he kind of thinks, I think his mindset goes, these guys can make moves. These
Right.
guys are capable of making moves. He doesn't give Jesus credit for being able to make a move. Therefore, he says Jesus must have a big hand.
Well, Mo is going to enter the pot here for the first time. He's got pocket 8s. Everyone limped. And he's got an overpair to the board, but Frank's got a flush draw and a straight draw.
That's a big hand for Frank.
Seat 5.
But Frank would need Mo to hit a set
And he's
to
gonna,
make that straight.
He's going to bet $50, and let's see how Mo's going to play it. He's going to raise it up to 300.
Big aces.
And you see, Mo doesn't mess around there. That's a big amount right away.
Well, Frank only has does he only have 400 left, or are there white chips back there? Can't quite tell. And look at that, Frank just mucked it, Dave. Wow. Oh, excuse me, that was
Yeah.
Marciano. I'm sorry. Let's see what Frank is going to do here.
But Frank was the original better.
Sorry about that.
Marciano did have top
But
pair,
Marciano,
though.
yeah, just mucked King 7, though.
That's a really good laydown.
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
King
yeah.
7.
The right answer you have.
Frank is going to call.
You see a lot of players play worse hands than that.
Pot's about
50 red.
$700 pot here. Here we go to the turn. Turn is a 5. Now Frank has a pair with his straight and flush draw.
Yeah, and he's open-ended now, and Mo obviously...
Mo's
I'm sorry.
open-ended as well. Well,
Mo
Mo's
is
open-ended.
I apologize, yes.
1,000.
And Mo's going to bet 1,000 here. He's going to push real hard.
Now this changes it a little bit, obviously, because Frank's 9 is no good. Frank would need a 5, a heart, a 4. No, I'm sorry, a 5, a heart, or a 8 to win this hand.
That's the best one we have.
Pot's about 1,700. It's 1,000 to call. And Frank's going to make the call. And again, we've got a $2,700 pot here.
Interesting how Frank shows his cards to both of his neighbors, and then makes the call.
Well, and a high blank, Dave. That's probably the best card that Mo could have seen there. It's probably just going to go check here, I'm sure.
Yeah. Unless Frank had, obviously the king of hearts in his hand.
Yeah.
I got a pair, but I knew that.
Well, I think that you just gotta hope with your pair of 8s that he wasn't on a king high flush draw.
Right, and that's what are you going to do? Because if he was on a king high flush draw, I don't think you can get him off.
I called you.
Mo took it down there.
What I'm saying is, we hit a hard.
Well, 2 big hands there. We see pocket aces were taken down by pocket 10s.
Right.
And then, obviously, a huge laydown by Barry Woods there with ace king. Can you fault him, though, really? I mean, there's 3 diamonds on the board, and he's got ace king of clubs. And the
No.
guy moves all in for 1,900.
I don't fault him at
The
all.
only thing I wonder now is if Barry had bet the pot on the turn and bet the full $1,000,
Yeah.
does Jesus make the same move,
Yeah.
you think? I don't know. And then at the same time, Barry's got more money in the pot. Does he make the call?
Dave, actually somebody on 2+2 here, Eagles 114 pointed out that on that hand with the bottom full against aces,
Yeah.
a jack actually would have been good for Hav as well.
Yes, right.
We didn't say that. We got a $100 bet here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
That would have been a terrible way to lose that one, huh?
Yeah.
Obviously, so right, he didn't have one out. He actually had 3 outs.
And then at that point, I don't know who's going to get away from aces. I mean, if the guy's
Right.
got 4 jacks, he's got 4 jacks,
Yeah.
right? It's real difficult.
So if,
Yeah.
that's a valid point there. I mean, Hav actually had 3 outs, not just one.
Right. We had a raise here by Jesus here in early position with King Queen, and we got to see 3 callers. We got 4-way action here. It's about a $320 pot.
Hav's hit his ace.
8, 9.
Hav's got to hate his position though. He keeps playing hands out of position against Frank and Jesus.
Well, he's going to bet right here. See where he's at. And I'm sure he'll be happy to see. Wow, Jay's going to call here with a middle pair. But look at this. A jack comes. They both have 2 pair. Turn is a 6. And Hav's going to move all in. He's going to move all in here. I don't think Jay has much left.
Exactly.
That's why.
That's the thing. You're playing stack size here.
Yeah. He only's got about 340 left.
And it's a nice strong play. The guy can't move you off.
Wow, and Jay's going to make the call, and he needs to spike a 9 here, and
Yeah.
only a 9. The river's a king, and Hav is going to take it down with the ace-jack.
And I like the play by Hav. It's not a matter of him betting. What is he going to bet? 300.
Right.
I'm all in. It's easy.
Right. Now, interesting to go back to that hand again with the bottoms full.
Oh, hold on. I want to say one thing. If you ever do that at a table, though, be careful and make sure how many chips your opponent has.
Yeah, make sure he's not behind.
I've seen
right?
people do that, and they go, I'm all in, and the guy goes, I call, and they're like $2,000 behind, or they got a little $5,000 chip underneath, and you didn't see it. You know,
And there's just nothing you can do about that.
not
right?
much. If the guy
Wow.
calls you, yeah, you're in up a creek there.
Yeah. If you put the guy in an overpair leading out from early position like Hav, I think you're right. Sometimes a smooth call is in order because you want a jack to raise behind. Because if you raise and then say a jack re-raises, then Hav is definitely going to get out of the hand. You're not necessarily trying to knock Hav out. He's definitely going to leave to a raise and a re-raise. Now, to a
Right.
smooth call and a raise, he still might fold. But,
Right. It's not like your bet is going to get a jack out.
Right.
But at the same time, if there is a jack there, they're going to play anyway.
right.
There's nothing you can do about it. And what you want to keep in there is you want to keep king queen in there, right?
Right.
You want to keep, if there is I'm trying to think, even if you want to keep maybe a 9-8 in there.
We got 5-way action here. Jesus raised with ace-king suited.
5 players.
And I believe it's about a $250 pot.
Not bad for him, huh?
Nice flop here. Over cards and a flush draw.
And
And he
this is-
checked it. He
Yeah, this is
checked it.
interesting. Frank's got top pair, though.
And everybody checked it. The turn's an ace, and Jesus' hands gets real big now.
Yeah, he's in really good shape here.
2.
He's going to bet 200 here. Jay's going to play 1,300 behind here. And I don't think that anyone is going to call.
Hey, Jay was actually going to play in Wednesday's game. One of the reasons I was going to play in it was because Jay was supposed to play in it. But I guess he's been running bad, he said, and he couldn't scrounge up enough cash just today to play that game.
Look at this. Frank is going to make the call here. And he is drawing really slim. He needs a 7 or an offsuit 8. And the river is a 5.
No good.
And this is the type of thing that might scare me against one of these guys. I might not bet ace-king here on the river when that 5 pairs.
Yeah.
I really might. But Jesus is going to bet. He's going to bet 400. Now, we haven't really seen that guy. A lot of times these guys aren't, the check raise on the river isn't necessarily in their arsenal, Dave.
Yeah.
And they might just come out and bet here if they had made a 5.
And I'm just gonna show you one card, okay? I told you this one.
And I think in Spanish, Jesus asked Frank, do you have any balls to call? We're getting a little translate there by our cameraman, Ray.
Wow.
And then I show you.
We do it all here.
I don't want to see it.
We do it all here.
Well, the other thing, and then we'll put that hand to rest, with the bottom full. And this is always a concern with the bottom full. If you smooth call and you get a couple people to call, let's say
Yeah.
one more people to call, and Hav is also in the hand, doesn't any Broadway card or any ace scare you?
Why?
Blind, please.
You don't think that any Broadway card or any ace would scare you then?
So be it. And they beat me. I lose with 10s full. What am I going to do?
Well, I'm just saying that, you sometimes don't want to necessarily, back yourself into a
Yeah,
corner.
but let's
that
be
way.
honest. Nobody's going to throw away a jack anyway. I'm not going to get the jack out no matter what.
No. I'm not saying that necessarily what the play is. I'm just saying when you look at
Does it
further.
scare me? Yes, but
when you flop a bottom full house, you have to understand that it's obviously vulnerable.
no, right. If somebody has King Jack, though, let's be honest. If somebody has King Jack there, are they going to fold?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
So whether I move all in for $4,000 or whether I smooth call and they raise and then I
Right.
move all in
Right.
and the king comes, there's nothing I can do about it.
Look at Jesus' hand here. He's got pocket aces. He's going to raise out of the blind.
I tell you, I felt it. That's why we got the Jesus rules thing. It's the night of the Jesus.
2.5.
You know Jesus was a Jew.
Yes.
Almost 2 hours, not play a hand.
We're quite proud of him.
He's playing now.
And here we go. We've got about a $400 pot here.
Ooh.
Wow, 2 flush draws here. 5,
Now-
3, 3.
Now, this is one of those hands where if I'm Jesus, I don't mind. I have the ace of hearts, so I'm not nearly that scared.
He's going to come out and bet here.
The likelihood of somebody else having a flush draw is slim because you figure, okay, they'd be in there with the nut flush draw, and I have the ace of hearts, so they can't be in there with the nut flush draw.
He bets the pot here.
Yeah.
And the action's over to Lee with the flush draw. It's a $260 bet. Pot's about 500, about 260 to call. And Lee looks like he is going to call.
I tell you, we can rip Jesus' game all he wants, but I love his instincts.
And you know Frank's going to call. And of course, look at all the hearts out there. The chances of a heart coming are pretty slim here.
Yeah, we've already got, 7 hearts dead.
Yeah.
7 hearts dead. There's only 6 left.
And actually, somebody mucked 6-10 of hearts as well, I can see, right?
Wow.
Somebody mucked 6-10 of hearts before the hand. That was C3, so there's even less.
Yeah, there's only 5 hearts left.
Oh, and it's a heart! Are you kidding me? And this could just turn into a big hand. We have 2 flushes, and Jesus has got the nut flush draw
Yeah.
with the overpair.
Yeah, this is crazy. And Jesus just double-checked his cards, make sure the ace of hearts.
He's
and I
gonna-
got to tell you, if they raise,
Yeah.
Jesus might re-raise all in.
He's going to bet 600 here, Dave. 600 into a pot that was about 750.
Now, if Lee moves all in, can Frank get away from it?
No way. No way. I think that Lee thinks he's playing it slow. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Well, he doesn't have enough money to play it
Yeah.
slow. The bet's 600. He's only got maybe 1,100?
Yeah. Maybe even less than that. Maybe. Oh, he's got white chips under there.
Okay, so
It's
maybe
12 to 1,300, maybe something like that.
Don't fall, Papa.
So let's see what he's going to do. He's got a made
Now,
flush.
Lee hasn't played a hand yet all night, so what does that tell
Have
you?
it. Please, please.
All in.
And he's going to move all in. But now the issue is between Frank and Jesus because this could be a big pot here on the side.
Yeah, and this is interesting here. And you can't bemoan Jesus here. Jesus hasn't done anything wrong, and he's got the ace of hearts in his hand.
Wow. So let's call it 1,200. It's 1,100 here. Let's call it 1,200 all in here, Dave. Which means the pot now is $2,500. It's 1,200 to call for Frank.
And by the way, there's only 3 hearts left in the deck.
11-8.
And Jesus needs a heart or an ace.
Yeah, I mean, look, all of the heart. I mean, most of the hearts are dead here.
Or a 3. A 3 will do it also.
I mean, if C3 had stayed in the hand, we would have had 3 flushes here. And Frank is going to make the call, which means that the pot now is $3,800. And Jesus moves all in over the top on the side.
Wow, and this pot's like a $10,000 pot?
On the side. Let's count how much it is here on the side. We got a side pot. They're going to bring in the main 1,200 here.
This one's short. 9, 10, 11,
So
80.
so they're going to bring in the 1,200 here, Dave, ballooning the pot to 5,000, and now here we go to the side. 5,000 in the main pot.
Wow.
4, 6,
And let's just count Jesus' outs here. He's got 3 hearts, 2 threes, and 2 aces.
this one don't play.
So we got another 2,800 here on the side, Dave.
70.
So the pot now 7,800, and he's going to make the call, and that means 5,000 in the main, 5,000 on the side. And here we go to the river, and the river's a 10, and Lee is going to take the main, and Frank's going to take the side.
Wow.
Holy smokes, what a
Yeah.
hand.
What a hand.
Wow.
I mean, I got to tell you, that is just, oh, that hurts.
And again, we're privy to the information that somebody else had 2 hearts in their hand as well pre-flop.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, man. And if you're seat 3, you got to be
Yeah, that's yours.
really happy that you didn't get in there 10-6 of hearts. that's just.
He said it.
I got to tell you, I mean,
How often do you ever see somebody see 3 flushes in one hand? Do you see it? I mean, we see 2 flushes rarely. Have you ever? I don't know if we've ever seen a hand in all the live poker that we've done on the show where I've seen 3 flushes. The
Right.
odds are astronomical
and then
against that.
not only 3 flushes, but then somebody else has to have
Has
aces
the ace
with
of
the ace
hearts.
of hearts.
Right.
Wow. I mean, that's just a bad beat there for Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? At that point, I mean, he just pushed in on the side. I mean, maybe a case could be made where you could just call as opposed to pushing. Because you're unless you think, I mean, what do you think the guy's calling within the middle?
Well, that's the only thing that's interesting. Why is he just calling?
Yeah.
You know, if you thought he had a flush,
Right.
and obviously he doesn't have the nut flush because you have the ace of hearts,
Yeah.
wouldn't he try to drive me out? It's a weird play.
Right.
But if he called, you go, oh, wait a second, does the guy have a set or something? It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I know you're dead, but I know you're going to make sense.
I mean, I sometimes think if I make that call in between, that if someone's going to come over the top of me on the side, he might have pocket queens there.
Yeah, it
You
might
know,
have,
it's
yeah.
like, whoa. Or I guess you can say aces with the ace of hearts. I mean, I don't know if Jesus missed. I mean, should he have just called there instead of moved in on the side over the top?
Well, you know what? Once Lee moves all in, right? You kind of have to know that you're beat by Lee.
Yeah.
There's no point in protecting his hand. You've got to catch to win the main pot.
Right.
So why drive? Even if you have seat 5 beat,
Right.
why drive him out?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you probably can't beat Lee.
So I think probably Jesus should have called there.
Right.
Yeah.
He's moving in in a dry side pot.
Yeah. 6-way action.
And all he's doing is protecting Lee's hands, which obviously didn't need protection.
6-way action here on the pot is limped around.
But I tell you, Jesus had to call though.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, it was only another $600.
Right. Yeah.
And he had, obviously, we counted it for, I think, about 7 or 8 outs total.
Yeah.
And obviously, he doesn't know. He thinks he might even have more outs than that. He doesn't know, obviously, how many hearts are dead.
Lee is going to bet here, Dave. He's got a pair of 10s and an open-ended straight draw with the 9. He's going to bet $80. The pot was limped around.
Oh, phenomenal poker here, folks. And look at that. Just like that, Jesus has gone from $2,000 up to $7,000, back down to $1,000.
Right.
3 players.
Well, Mo calls with ace-9. Frank's in there with 5-10, and Frank hits 2 pair on the turn. My goodness.
I tell you, Frank's a machine. Lee's open-ended here with the
Right.
second pair.
And it gets checked to Frank. Remember, Lee bet the flop. Frank called and Mo called. And now Frank really should bet here pretty big. It's pretty
Oh.
draw heavy here.
Yeah, you got to bet the pot here.
Yep. And it's interesting, Mo is chasing there with the ace-9 with a couple spades out there.
No, he's coming, but
He's going to call again.
Yeah, Mo's instincts are usually right on, though. He doesn't put anybody on spades, and he's right.
And Lee's going to call. Here we go to the river. River's a 3. And now, I mean, you make a value bet here if you're Frank with 2 pair.
I think so.
Yeah, and he is.
3 of clubs certainly doesn't scare me.
He's going to bet 250 here. Little
Yeah.
value bet on the end. Mo is obviously out of there.
You hope Lee has Jack 9.
I want to get some money back, Papa.
a little bit at a time, huh? A little bit.
Hear what Frank said there? I want to get some money back, Papa.
Oh, he's going to fold it there wisely.
Yeah, I think Frank and Jesus there are calling seat 2. We're calling Lee Papa.
Yeah.
And I like the name. I think we'll don it there. There he is.
Yep.
Lee Banks, forever be named Papa. There he is. The Papa. Wow, what a hand.
Well, we've seen some crazy hands so far tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Frank actually, I want to say Frank won money in that hand, or did he actually lose money in that hand? Did he win a little? He won a little bit, huh?
Well, I mean, we'd have to do some quick
Well, if
calculations.
the first
in our
pot
head.
was 5,000, he was probably in there for about 1,700, right?
Right.
And if the second pot was 5,000, well, he was only in there for 25, so he's
Right.
probably up 8.
Yeah, he made a little profit there on the hand. See, one's got pocket queens. He's going to bring it in for a raise.
I mean, to be honest, with you, the raiser Frank should have been the one raising, right? With the flush draw to get the ace of hearts out.
Yeah.
Charging him.
He's the one that should have probably moved over the top.
Exactly.
2 players.
Heads up here, and Frank has made the call here with King 5, and he's got Queen, so he's got 1 overcard here. Oh, top set here for Eric in
Yeah.
C1.
That's a big hand.
So look at him do the acting job. He's going to shake his head.
Anytime somebody shakes their head and then bets, I mean, if you want to shake your head and check, okay, I buy it.
90.
But shake your head and then bet?
He's going to bet 90 here, and I don't even think Frank can call, Dave.
It's a little peeping Tom there. Look at that. It's a little peeping Jesus.
Is that a University of Texas hat there?
I don't know.
You know, Dave, I have to tell you, and I know that you've been hard on the Patriots, but I have been watching, some of the sports shows on ESPN, Around the Horn, quite frankly, listening to a little NFL radio on Sirius. Tomorrow's Tampa Bay Patriots game is a big game.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the biggest games of the week.
Huge.
It's really, really big.
Well, of course, it's going to say it. First of all, Tampa Bay needs it. New England's got to should win the game if they want to reestablish themselves as one of the players in the AFC.
Right. Mo's got pocket queens
I
here
think
in
they'll
seat
lose.
9.
But hey, it's just me.
Yeah, Tampa Bay will lose.
120.
We got a raise here to 120. By seat 5, he's got pocket 8s. Jesus is going to call the king 4, and you got to think Mo's going to re-raise here with queens.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to make it 700, Dave.
Wow, that's a big bet, huh? You
Well,
know what?
he's not
Mo's
fooling
playing.
around.
Yeah, he saw what happened to Hobb with his aces.
Right.
Mo's like, no, I'm not getting 7 callers. Forget that. And you know what? Frank is
Frank's going to make the call.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he made
Wow.
it 700.
And this is interesting here. If the flop comes out real, all babies,
Yeah.
can Mo win a big pot off of Frank? Because Frank's got a lot of money, and so does Mo.
Pot's about 1,500 here. Oh, Mo hits a set.
I tell you, that is a beautiful flop normally.
Yeah,
Because you're
unfortunately
almost
for him.
praying the guy has ace
Right.
king or ace jack.
Right.
Oh,
And Mo likes to sometimes slow play these hands, Dave.
he's got no danger out there. Frank is almost drawing dead.
And look at this. It goes check, check. The turn's a 5.
And Frank is now drawing dead.
And now Mo
How much I bet you lay down?
says, how much I bet you lay
How much I
down?
bet you lay down the hand.
I'm not gonna lay it.
He's gonna find out. He's gonna find out.
Well, it's a $1,500 pot.
Well, look at that. Frank says, I'm not laying it down. I'm not going to lay it down. Mo goes, really? Okay, well, then I'll go all in.
2 machine guns are no good, Mo. That's what he's saying. 2 machine guns no good? 2 machine guns.
If you bet $10
He's got freaking
or whatever,
cannons.
Well, luckily for Frankie, the 8 didn't peel off there on the turn.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, most times when you have a set of queens and somebody calls you, the flop you're praying for is ace-queen rag.
He's going to move all in here, Dave. He's going to move all in for about $2,500. And Frank,
Look at that, Frank. Frank says, I lie. Yeah, and normally that's the flop you love if you have pocket queens. But
Right.
hey, not that time.
right,
Better flop would have been deuce, deuce, 5.
right.
You don't call 60 on me.
When's here, please?
You don't call
And look at that, though. Just like that, Mo wins about a $1,400 pot.
Yeah.
Seven of which was Frank Gonzalez's money.
Button moves over here to Mo.
And that's the new Mo. You won't see him play too many hands in this game.
No.
But the ones he plays, he's going to play strong.
Right.
The mark of a real expert player.
I thought you have 8. If I knew you have pocket 8 or 10 or jack.
Look at that. Mo puts him on pocket 8s, 10s, or jacks.
Limp here.
Actually, he made me go.
Mo's going to limp here. 4-5 off suit.
Yeah, on the button with 4-5. Why not?
Everyone's in the hand here except for seat 8, Barry Woods.
8 players.
8-way action, $160 pot. Ace 7 jack, couple clubs, and Eric's flop top 2 pair here.
Yeah, and
Up
he chose to limp out of the small blind, and he's checking it. Problem with checking it in an unraised pot, nobody's going to bet this.
150.
Oh, well, there you go. Mo's going to fire.
Mo's going to bet 150, little position bet.
And I got to tell you, if you're Eric here, you got to raise this. We know there's nothing dangerous out there, but how does he know that?
Raise.
So he's going to make it 300. He's going to raise the minimum here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I mean, does he have that much left?
No, he doesn't, but
Eric there and see.
he wants obviously he wants a call. He doesn't want a lot of calls, but he wants 1 or 2.
300 total.
Yeah, nobody's got anything really. Frank's got a 7.
He's got about 450 left.
And look at this. You know how sometimes friends don't play against friends? If you take a look at Frank and Jesus, these guys are like laughing with each other. Yeah, but exactly. Playing poker is playing poker. They're still friends.
Look at this. Mo's calling Eric's hand. He says, you have ace jack or pocket 7s.
Tell you. The way I'm going, I'm going to tell you. I'm right.
You're right, Mo. Ace jack.
How can
There it is.
How can I tell
Well,
you?
obviously, Mo is just as familiar with all the players here in No Limit as we are, probably more so. Because as much as we commentate these shows, Mo plays with these guys all the time.
40 hours a week.
Yeah.
All he plays is no limit
Yeah.
hold'em.
Yeah.
And I said it before. I mean, I told you I'm really trying to shift my game from limit hold'em to no limit hold'em. First of all, as a result of watching this webcast, I feel like my no limit game is getting better and better. But it's also a matter of the games are better. You can make more money.
You think the games are better than limit games?
I do. I think
Yeah.
you can. I think you can do better.
I think that your advantage is a lot bigger if you're a good no limit player.
Yeah, I mean, I just
140.
in the bad. I mean, it's one of the reasons I felt like I could take a shot in Wednesday's games because I feel like the 500 game and even this game
500.
are so easy.
Now Jesus is raised here to 140, and Mo's going to come over the top for 500, and Jesus is going to move the rest all in with King 4 suited.
Well, we got a little race here. I mean, Mo's not that much of a favorite.
It's okay. You can't play every game.
I want to say Mo's probably, what, about 60-40 here?
Yep, so we're going to see all 5 cards come out.
And then heads up with
And here we go.
that money.
Ace, King 3 here on the flop.
Self-deal. Heads up with you. You want to go all
Well, they both pick a pair here.
Yep,
pre-flop? I had pocket queens. And the queen came out.
and Jesus is all in here. There we go.
And Jesus needs a king or a 4.
Turns
Or a
is
deuce.
5, Rivers
No.
is 7,
But you know what?
and Mo is going to take it down there with the aces.
Yeah, and it's Mo's night, I guess. I guess when I spoke too early when I said it was the night of the Jesus, huh?
Well, Jesus isn't going to get up. He's going into his pocket, Dave.
Believe me, you don't know why. If you knew why, you don't know.
We're getting word. Ooh, there's Evelyn Ng.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, it's not a great picture of her.
You know, I like Asian women, Dave.
Yeah.
But I actually, there it is. There's the advertisement.
Oh, very cool.
I was actually never really into Evelyn Ng, and you know how much I like Asian women. I
You?
just don't think she's that.
She's all that.
She's all that, yeah.
I told you about my theory about women in poker halls.
Right.
If you're playing long enough with a bunch of guys, any woman looks good.
Oh, anyone that wasn't at our party last night missed. Oh, Dave, there were just so many pretty dealers that work in this place. Chip runners.
Ace
All-
Queen in
all
seat
Asian.
1. Ace Queen suited for Eric in seat 1. He's in the cutoff seat. Let's see if he puts a little raise in there.
Looks like he is, Dave.
Yeah, I'd imagine he should. Well, he should. He's in late position with Ace Queen suited. Why not?
That's my big blind, right? Sorry? I said, you know that's my big blind, right? You're going to get it back. That's fair win the same.
And he's going to raise it up.
90.
Said, hey, that's
don't even know what I have yet. I
That's
gotta-
good rebate, bro. Seriously.
I saw somebody win a lot.
So it's $90 here.
Yeah, I don't know if, well, actually, I was going to say, I don't know if anybody's going to call here, but I forgot who we're playing with here. Frank's going to call, and I bet you Jesus is going to call. And JJ's been real quiet tonight, hasn't he?
Four-way action here, $360 pot. King, 9 king with a couple of hearts.
Oh, ugly flop for everybody there. Jay's got the best hand, though.
And Jay's going to come up with bet.
There
He's
you
going to
go.
bet 200.
Speak of the devil.
Time.
And Eric is probably going to get away from it here. Yeah. That's good enough there, ace 9.
Yeah, there you go.
Hands dominated, and you hit your kicker, Dave.
Jay's one of those players, if he is winning, he is really tough to play against because he is in every hand and he's raising every hand. But if he's losing, and I don't know that he's losing, but I'm just guessing that he hasn't been winning because you can tell.
You know, we all have our own, bad beat stories and problems and stuff like that with regards to tournaments.
Right.
You know, when you do a race in a tournament, you flip 2 cards up. For some reason, just my thing, I would rather lose with my pocket kings to say ace 3 than have my ace king to lose to ace 3. That drives me crazy when I have a guy dominated and he wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Okay.
You know, it is just, a nightmare.
Well, I mean, wait. Kings against ace 3 isn't dominated also?
It's 40.
Well, you got 1 over card.
Right.
But
Same 3 outs.
But it's just,
It's like
ace king against ace queen.
Yeah.
44. If you
Seat
want
5 here was straddled, and Jesus is raised under the gun.
That's what lies me.
And actually, I think,
Raise that.
let's see here, I think that maybe Jesus was the straddler. It was Frank. Well,
Well, we're 3-handed here, either way.
Okay.
And the flop is King, Jack 7. Couple of clubs. Everybody misses. Actually, I'm sorry. Frank's got second pair.
Check.
did you check it?
Yes, sir.
You're first.
I'm first?
Yes, sir.
And you're right, actually. Jesus was the straddler.
Well, Frank's going to bet 100 here.
Yeah.
Jesus has bottom pair. Frank has middle pair. Jesus gets away from it.
Take it down, Frank. Yeah, one of my pet peeves, actually, in a tournament, and this is not a bad beat at all, one of my biggest pet peeves is when you have, like, ace-king against ace-jack, or, ace-queen against ace-jack, or something like that, and you end up chopping the pot. And the player actually, I don't mind the chop as bad as the player actually looks at you, or somebody goes to you and goes, well, hey, could have been worse, you could have lost. And in a tournament, obviously, you need to win those.
Right.
You can't be chopping those pots.
Right.
Just my own little pet peeve there. Well, just don't say anything, okay? Keep your mouth shut. Take half the pot.
Button's
Lucky
going to
fish.
go over here to seat 4. You know, it's funny. You and I, we tend to act a little bit different at the table. You know, I watched you play in some of the tournaments at the World Series, and I know how you play here. We'll get to this at the end of this hand. 4-way action, limped around. Ace, 9, jack, rainbow.
Yeah, Hobbs got an open-ended straight draw here.
Turn comes 5.
Yeah, and Marciano, I want to say, has the best hand here with 3-5. And look at this. Jesus is going to bet with king 5.
He shows the 5.
Yeah, he's got the best hand. Frank's got nothing. Yeah, he throws it away.
If anybody knows me off of the poker table, obviously the people that can listen to this show, they know that I will rarely shut up. I'm a motor mouth.
You?
I know, who would believe it, right?
Yeah.
But on the poker table, I'm kind of quiet, aren't I? But you're a yapper. I sometimes say, almost like a Yana-esque. Yap, 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 yap,
Yeah,
yap, yap.
I thought it was a compliment until you went there.
No,
I
you
just
do.
like-
I think it's kind of part of your thing, like to get into the table. You like to talk with some of the players, right?
More so in a tournament than a cash game.
Yeah.
Tournaments, I definitely do talk it up and try to get
And
people
about
to
the
talk.
hands, right?
Yeah, well, I try to get people to talk about it. I figure if I can get somebody to open up, maybe I can get a tail.
Right.
Then who knows?
Couple of ace-10s here. And the pot's going to be limped
Once in a
around.
while, too, you get some people that are kind of, a little bit of, beginners. You get them to almost soft play you because you go, well, you're my friend. Throw it away. I don't want to knock you out. Okay, sure.
Queen 5 deuce here with a couple of spades. Gets checked around here. The turn is a 6. Doesn't look like anyone has much here.
No.
I think Jesus has got the best hand with a pair of 5s. Gets checked around again, and the river is a 10. And that
Now-
gives Frank and Jay the
And
best hand.
Barry.
Oh, Barry's going to bet here with 9-10.
And this is interesting. Frank might not call, but I bet you Frank calls
No,
and Jay
Frank is
calls.
going to call. Yeah, Frank and Jay are both going to call. Maybe advanced players don't make the overcall with
That's what I was
ace-10.
going to say. I was going to say one of these players. Wow.
And
Jesus.
Jesus calls.
And Jay
Did Jay
raised.
check raise? Holy smokes.
I love it. I love the play by Jay here. Wow. What a play. And a pot that would have been chopped between him and Frank, he might win straight out. Let's see.
Well, I guess he figures no one has a queen, and I got the best hand here with ace-10.
Yep. Oh, I love the instincts by Jay here. This is a great, great poker play.
He's going to take it down.
Wow. And that, you know what? That pot, I want to say, is probably close to $400, right? I mean,
Well, it was limped around, and then Barry threw out a bet there.
and 50-50-50, right?
Well,
So
the thing is there, I mean, the only thing about that move, I mean, if you say you like the move, fine, but he did get the guy off of ace-10. But any other 10 you have beat, what are you going to get called by when you check raise there that you can beat with ace-10?
well, in that case, he actually got off the chop, though.
I
And
know
he
that,
earned
but I
himself,
mean, how
he earned himself a
often is
couple
that going to
$100.
happen that someone's got the exact same hand that you
Right.
do?
No, I'm with you on that. And then I guess I think about it, obviously, it's not much of a value check raise.
Right.
Unless he thinks he might get called by a worse hand.
I just don't
Does
see
he think-
what you could get called there.
Why, you don't think Frank might have called with Jack 10? Or King? I mean, obviously Frank didn't call with Ace
He
10.
didn't call with ace-10.
But I'm saying, you don't think there's a chance in the world that he'd call with King 10 or Queen 10? I'm going to put it this way. Were you convinced that he was going to throw away Ace 10?
You never know with these
Exactly.
guys to a check raise on the river. Now, Hav brought this one for a raise. We can't see his hand over there in C4. We got a couple callers.
I mean, I guess I just love the instincts that Jay thought he had the best hands.
Hobb has got pocket kings here, Dave. Brought it in for a raise. And Jesus has flopped the flush.
Oh,
King
wow.
eight.
Call.
And Jesus moves all in, and Hobb quickly calls. I don't know. I think Jesus is only in here
Eh,
for 220.
No more breaks for you ever.
And
I told you what you want to do. You don't say nothing.
You called 140 with that crap?
Bro, I was going to go in. I
Anything
said,
can happen. Okay.
You know I play that shit.
and this is
yes, we do.
And this is the problem. Hobb really should just say good hand and
Right.
go on, okay?
I mean, Hobbs got, just be lucky that he didn't lose more money, right?
Exactly.
He had
You should be,
$200 left.
be really lucky that Jesus didn't have $1,000 then. So if Jesus had $1,000 or $1,500, Hobb still calls. You know, maybe he doesn't call 5,000, but he's going to call 1,000 or 1,500.
He didn't ask you, man.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So respect him.
Don't tap on the fish tank.
On the
Hobb,
flop,
come
when
on.
you flop the nut. What is...
No, but I asked you before. He asked you before the
All right, man. Yeah, he did.
And Barry Woods, there he is. What
Whoa.
would Jesus do? and Barry Woods has been remarkably quiet over there tonight. in CD.
Well, you know what?
Maybe a shot of Mickelson.
He made a lay down, and I think he thinks he had the best hand, and he was right. After Jesus showed him the ace, I think he thinks he had the
You
best
get on your
hand.
knees, there's going to be a problem.
And, you know, every time he steps his foot in there, somebody keeps raising him out.
Jesus loves to slam that raise down there. He's got ace-4 offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 150. And look at Frank in C5. He's limped in with the old 10-deuce offsuit from mid-position.
Hey, if Doyle can do it, why can't Frank Gonzalez do it?
Wasn't Doyle's hand 10-deuce suited, though?
I don't.
Or was it 10-deuce
It was just 10 deuce. It was heads
yeah.
up, though. I mean,
Hobbs going to call here with 7-8 of spades. And Frank calls with the Doyle Brunson hand.
and what was the raise?
140.
And the only thing interesting, though, is Hobbs got a hand, but the problem, Hobb has plenty of money,
Yeah, but Jesus doesn't have any money. I don't understand why Hobb made that call there.
unless he knows that Frank's going to call, because Frank's got plenty of money.
And Jesus is going to move all in here.
Well, Jesus does have a wheel draw.
Well,
590.
590. And Hobbs going to call with the flush draw.
Yeah, well, I think he's taking it personal. He wants to give Jesus a bad beat, he said.
Frank has the best hand here with bottom pair.
Now, let's hear these guys, because these guys, Hobb is really going at it with Jesus here. He wants to go at it. And Frank throws away the best hand here. And Hobb needs a spade, a 7, or an 8.
Turns a 3.
Oh,
River is a 4, and
Wow.
Jesus makes a wheel.
yeah, the 3 gave him the wheel. Look at that, Jesus wins again.
Nowadays.
Well, it doesn't matter. He was good with ace high anyways.
Right,
He
exactly.
didn't need the straight.
Well, the 3 just made it that Hobb needed a spade there. Obviously, a 7 or 8 would have done it also before that.
Right.
And look at that, just like that, Hobb is giving a little life into Jesus' game.
You're way behind, man.
Ooh, and Jesus asked to see Hobbs' cards.
Yeah,
Wow.
these guys are going at it.
Now, the only thing about that, I guess, at least at this casino, Dave, you
Yes.
always can ask to see a player's cards. And if you're not in the hand is mocked or the hand is dead. And then, if you flip it over, even if it's the winning hand, it's still dead.
Right.
But if you are the player who wins the pot and you ask to see the loser's hand, that hand is live. So be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing that.
Definitely. And I personally, it's one of my biggest pet peeves for those people that are not in the hand.
Yeah.
And if I lose a hand and somebody goes, "Oh, can I see his hand?" Oh, that just drives me nuts. It's such bad etiquette. Especially if you're not in the hand. I mean, to me, the only reason to ever do it is if you suspect collusion.
Well, that's what the rule is there for.
Right, but people abuse it all the time.
Frank is going to raise here to 120, and Jesus calls with King 4 suited.
Well, he's Russian now. Look at that.
2 players.
And we are heads up, and Hobb is really steaming here, Dave. And Jesus got a flush draw.
And Frank has got the
Top pair.
ace, yeah, there.
Oh, wow, and Frank's going to move all in. And Jesus has got maybe 1,000 behind there, I think.
And these guys are friends. And that's how friends should play poker with friends.
And he's trying to figure out, this would be a pure gamble, Dave.
Well, you got to add up how much money's in the pot, and is it
And he's
worth
going to
it?
make the call. He's going to make the call. And there it is. We're
Come
talking
on.
about couple thousand in the
There's
pot.
the-
There's a spade. A spade comes off. He needs to dodge an ace, and an ace comes on the river. And Frank fills up
Wow.
on the river.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Queens and aces. Queens and aces.
And they don't even know.
What are you talking about?
Full house.
He's got an ace, king. It's a
Full house, Jesus.
Oh.
You
No
lose.
good, bro.
And I got to tell you, I was rooting for a spade there. There's a spade. I'm so excited. And I see it's the queen. I'm going, oh, no, not another queen, not another queen.
Don't do that.
And there's the ace. Oh.
Don't talk to him.
And just like that, Jesus is broke again. And worse than that, Jesus takes Hobbs' money and just gives it to Frank. I got to tell you, this is a great lesson for how friends should play against friends, though. Look at this.
Only ace or queen. Of course you don't make him. He makes the flush on the turn.
Bud's going to move over to seat 9. Pocket aces over here for Marciano. Boy, he's really one of the tightest players on the table, Dave.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Haven't heard much from him. And we got pocket kings for seat 1, Eric.
Uh-oh. Eric's in trouble.
Wow, and we got a couple other pocket pairs. We got pocket threes, pocket deuces, and king queen.
Well, let's see what happens here. Because this will be really interesting how this is played. Where's the button?
Jesus is 3,000 behind.
3,000.
Button's in seat 9.
Now, you know that Eric's going to raise in the small blind. The bet's already up to $60.
Right.
Marciano's original bet was $60. Called in 3 spots.
Mo's going to call.
Now,
It's called in 5 spots.
Now, if you've got kings here, you've got to push hard. You might even want to move all in.
Yeah, if he only has maybe 1,000 left, I think he might just move all in.
I mean, the pot's already $450.
Raise, make it 300.
That's
He's only
not
going to
enough.
raise to 300.
Okay.
300.
Wow.
Now, if you're Marciano, do you re-raise? Well,
Well, he doesn't have that many chips left, Dave.
That's right. I'm counting it wrong.
So he's going to call. He's all in.
Now, the one thing is Eric and Marciano, neither player is very deep, so it's a pretty easy fold for Jesus and an easy fold for Frank.
It should
The
be.
bet is 300. He's all in for 280.
You know, the funny thing, though, is
Bet
if
is
Frank,
300.
Jesus, and Jay all call, then Mo can call behind with the A10 of diamonds almost,
300
depending on
total
how
is the
deep
bet.
he is.
Well, he's really playing against Frank. That's what he's looking at. He's
Yeah.
going, oh, well, Frank's got that much money. I can play against him. And Frank is going to call with 3-4 of clubs.
It's 300 here. We're looking at a raise and a re-raise. The guy who raised pre-flop here, the tightest guy on the table, instantly called.
Yeah, and
Instantly called.
Now, Eric raised it to 300, and Eric called all in. I'm sorry, Marciano called all in for only 280.
Right,
So there's $20 from each player that calls on the side pot.
right.
And
Jesus
280
calls.
240 more.
And Jay is going to call now.
240 more. I mean, this is insanity.
This is not, folks. This is real money. $300 for each player.
The pot's 1,500 now. And now Mo, if he's really deep, can he make this call?
And he's going to, I think. See if he can hit a monster.
He called to, right?
Everybody called Mo. That's the type of hand you want to get in there with.
I guess
The
so.
pot is 1,500. It's another 240 for Mo to call.
The problem is, though, is the hand like Jesus, the hand that Jay and Jesus have, they really can't get themselves in trouble.
Well, Mo's going to fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an $80 side pot.
Just too much. $80 on the side, folks.
Yep.
And about $1,400 in the main.
Yeah, 1,500 there. It's 300 times 5.
Right.
Yeah.
280, yeah,
Oh,
280
you say
times
in the main and the side.
Is that all right with
Yeah.
everybody? All right.
280 times 5,
Right.
so
Right.
100 on the main,
Right.
and 1,400 in the in the middle.
Here we go. Queen 5-9.
That changes nothing.
Nope. Didn't really hit anybody.
No, and what is Eric going to do? I guess Eric's probably going to try to protect his hand. He has to. He doesn't know that he's up against aces.
Right.
All in.
He's going to move all in. This is a perfect example when you need to bet on the side, Dave.
Without a doubt. Obviously, he still needs to catch a king, but he doesn't know he's up against aces here.
670 all in, but he's going to probably win himself $80 on the side.
Woo.
And unless something happens here, Marciano's going to take down 1,400 in the main.
Yeah,
Turn is an ace.
and that's it.
And that's it. It's over. River's a jack.
Yeah, Eric was drawing dead there, obviously. And Marciano takes it down. $1,400. Not a bad parlay there. He turns $280 into $1,420. Wow.
Yeah, how many? What did he quintupled up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Quintuple.
Look at that.
Unbelievable
I
stuff.
mean, I really can't believe Hobb would say that to Jesus. You call 140 with that? I mean, it's really funny. I
We
mean,
remember that Remember that Barry was berating a player last week as well. Sometimes you just get, you get steaming and you say things that you weren't.
No, I know, obviously, and I think Hav after when the show's over, I think he'll realize he you don't say that.
Right.
But there are some players, they're there to have a good time, and as long as it's their money, whatever they want to do is, hey, they're gonna do.
Button's going to move over there to seat 1.
Barry having some spinach salad. You ever had the spinach salad?
From the grill? I
Yeah.
have not.
It's
I've had a
actually
salad
really
with walnuts in it, though, before. I don't know. Waldorf salad? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Apples and
Yeah.
walnuts?
It's a good salad.
I guess I'm not a big salad person, Dave.
No?
Not really. I mean, to me, a salad tastes good because you put a lot of fatty dressing on it, so why am I eating a salad if I'm trying to eat healthy? If I'm going to
Okay.
douse it with ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing and bacon bits,
Okay.
hard-boiled eggs, ham, cheese.
They say the more intelligent you are, the more you actually just enjoy the salad. I read that somewhere.
70 for everyone.
The more intelligent you are, the better it tastes.
70 more.
Yeah, just salad without dressing tastes really good to intelligent people.
Really?
Yeah, they serve it at a lot of Mensa functions. And look at this,
Eric raised to 80 here on the button with pocket 10s.
folks, and this is not a mistake. Yes, 8 people are in the hand. This is pre-flop,
70?
and the bets, I want to say 80 from each person.
Yeah, 80 from each person times 7, 560 in the main pot. Queen, 9, 8, and it looks like Jay's got top pair.
Yeah, this is one of those times where if you have 10s, and even though there's only one overcard, I don't really like them.
Jay's going to bet. He bets about the pot.
It's a good bet there.
Well, Barry's got a gut shot, I guess, to the 6. There's a couple diamonds out there.
He's got the bottom end.
Yeah,
Notice
bottom end. He's going to fold. Mo folds, pocket deuces.
Eric's the only one who might call this. He's got, I guess, a pair of 10s here with a gut shot.
Right, he folds. Hob is going to fold.
But look at this. One bet is going to take this down.
Well,
I think.
Frank's got a gut shot. He's going to fold. And I think that
Jesus
is
has
on
got
there.
second pair.
Oh, yeah, Jesus actually has second pair, but he's going to fold.
Nice play by Jay there. Takes it down. I mean, if you're going to call $80 with Queen 4.
I think he showed him the 4. Showed him the 4.
Yeah, and the turn would have been a 6. The river would have been an ace. But obviously Jay didn't let him get there. Once again, we are live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 10 and 20. If you want to email us, please email us at live@thebike.com. We do read them, do appreciate it. You can also follow us on a live thread at 2plus2.com. Just click on forums, click on the World Poker Tour and other events, and then go for the Live at the Bike for December 16th.
Button moves over here to seat 2. Again, the brown chips in this game are $10 chips. Those are the main chips that are used. And the white chips are $100 chips. If you see purple chips, they're $25 chips. And we also have bigger chips on the table, thousands. And some people have light purples, which are 5,000. And boy, Dave, next week, if we can get Phil Locke on the show on Wednesday, boy, that's going to be a real treat, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be great. I've heard a lot of good things about him. He's a nice guy. I've met him a couple times.
And boy, we have really seen a lot of multi-way pots tonight, and everyone's going to limp in. Seven, 4 deuce, couple hearts. Mo's got the nut flush draw. He's got a wheel draw as well, Dave. Big draw here for seat 9. Big enough, definitely, to bet it. He's going to bet 150.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around here. I don't think anybody has anything.
It doesn't look really like anyone's got a whole lot. I mean, Marciano's got ace 4.
An interesting post here from a new poster on 2plus2, Jay Siegel, saying he played a satellite with me at the 2005 World Series. And he's saying that I actually did not say a word during the satellite, but I didn't win it. Maybe if I had said something, I would have...
Look at this. Frank has called here with a gut shot wheel draw with 2 hearts. He
Wow.
needs to catch a 3 that's not a heart. Well, Mo has the 3 of hearts.
So we got 3 outs here?
Turns a heart, and Mo's got the nuts.
Right away. Right away. Heartbreaker.
Frank's going to check. And Mo checks right behind him.
Oh, why
Dave.
not?
River's a 10.
And Frank doesn't look like he's really a bluffer, but Yeah, and he's not going to bluff at it. It's more of just hoping that Frank catches 2 pair or something like that.
Or maybe if he caught like an ace at the end,
Yeah, who knows? I mean, obviously, Mo doesn't know exactly what Frank has. He hopes that maybe he has a 7, maybe he has 7-8.
Right.
Maybe he's got a straight draw, he's at 5-6. Just hoping that he catches something, obviously.
Now, it's interesting. Shirley, kind of mentors Barry Woods. You've actually gone to Mo to improve your game from Wednesday, right? You had a
I have,
detailed
yeah.
conversation with him. We're
another
going to take a look at that chip count here.
Yeah, Barry in the lead, but he has not won the most money.
Well, it's kind of difficult to figure out who has won the most
I
money.
wanna
Is
say
it Frank? Seat 5? Trying to
It
get
might be
confirmation with
Lee,
when he
to be honest with
started.
you, because Lee's only in there for about $1,000.
Yeah, and he's up to 4,500.
So he's up 3,500.
Yeah.
Frank's up about a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
Hob is probably up maybe $1,000. Mo's actually won some money as well. I think Mo bought in for about 3,000. So, and obviously Jesus is down. That's his 3rd rebuy.
Raise. I get 120.
We get a raise here by
Is that Barry?
Barry. He's going to raise to 120 with Queen 6 of clubs. Wow.
You think maybe Barry's getting a little impatient?
Well, Hob's got a real hand. He's got ace, queen, spades. He's out of position, though.
That's a tough hand. I mean, it's not a bad laydown if you make this laydown. I mean, he's not privy to what we see, obviously.
Well, with the crap that these guys are playing, I mean, that's a real premium holding.
No, it is. The problem is, though, it's Barry raising. It's not,
Right.
it's not Jay raising.
Frank calls with 9-10 offsuit. And Jesus has got a king rag suited. He likes these up and down suited cards.
Now, one of the reasons you can make that call, some people like to re-raise with if you're ace-queen suited. Sometimes with ace-queen suited, you actually want to call and get Frank and Jesus in the hand.
For the value of the multi-way. And Jay's going to come in behind here with 9-5 offsuit.
Yeah. Ace-queen suited doesn't play bad multi-way.
A 3-gapper unsuited. Here we go, Dave. Over a $500 pot. What a flop for Hob. Overcards and a flush draw. 7-6 deuce.
Yep.
He checks it from up front.
Now, Barry's got a pair.
He's got the best hand.
Yeah, and he also was the pre-flop better, so I'm
Right.
assuming he's going to bet. Now, this is interesting because he has the queen, so queen would not help Hobbs' hand.
Well,
Hobbs got to check.
he's going to bet
this,
$400.
doesn't he?
The pot now is 1,000.
Okay.
400 to call, and Hob just calls. So
Well-
it's now a $1,400 pot.
He's got a drawing hand. Maybe he wants to keep players in. I mean, that's always a way to play it. He's got to catch.
This could get interesting if a blank comes here, Dave. I want to know really how hard Barry's going to push. What do you put Hob on here? Now,
Well, that's
Jay is still in the hand. He's got a gut shot to the 8.
Now, it's interesting. A lot of players would say, well, you can raise that and try to limit the field, or even try to get Barry off of his hand.
Jay folds.
Or you can limp in and try to keep everybody in. But at this point now, what do you do?
Turns a deuce. There's a blank.
Yeah.
I want to see if Barry's going to really drive hard now.
Now, you wonder if Hob is really going to check raise him strong. I don't.
The pot's 1,400. Barry's got about 3,000 in front of him, I want to say, because he's got a couple. I think he's got a big chip there.
I got to tell
Oh,
you,
he's
though,
got a $5,000 chip, and Barry takes a card. He's giving him a
Wow.
free card, and the river's a 5, but Barry's hand is good.
now is Hob going to try to bluff at it though? Is Hob going to bluff at it?
No, I think he just wants to hope to win this in a showdown, maybe with Ace Queen. But Barry's going to bet. He's going to bet 700. I got to tell you, I love the bet here.
Yeah.
Because Hob, I think that he's thinking about calling here.
Well, you got to put the guy. Did Barry raise with King Queen? Did Barry raise with Ace Jack? Why didn't Barry bet the turn?
Why didn't Barry bet the turn?
Well, I don't know, but it's hard to put him on a hand though.
Right.
He's going to bet any overpair, wouldn't he?
Right.
He would bet any overpair.
Well, the funny thing about this is, if Barry checked the turn,
I mean, what would he check the turn? The only thing he checks the turn with, to me, is a pocket sevens or pocket sixes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he checks, or pocket deuces, obviously.
Well, he checked here with Queen 6.
Well, that just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
though.
make any sense why he checked the turn. Is he trying to induce a bluff here by Hob? I just don't understand it. And
I mean,
Hob
this
folds.
is, if you leave that on for 1 second, this is one of those hands where I would actually, if I was thinking about it, I'd go, okay, you must either have a total full house or quads or nothing.
Right.
And I'd be completely wrong. My read would be completely off.
Yeah.
Because the check on the turn makes no sense whatsoever.
Did you even beat the board?
Yep.
Did you beat tens?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, Usually we're trying to put money in there with the guys, drawing to a hand, make them pay for the draw, drive them out.
And I got to tell you, it's one of those things where, sometimes you don't want to raise people out when you have a draw, but when you have that big a draw, I mean, overcards with a flush draw, if you move all in and you have 15 outs, if Barry calls, he's not that much of a favorite.
Now, Allen here is...
Actually, he might even be an underdog.
Allen's taking his spot here, Mo's spot in seat 9. Although you always got to wonder, Dave, you're going to check raise big against Barry with a single pair against a tough player. You say he might make the call with queen 6.
But it's not that bad a play, though.
Right.
Well, the fact that he had queen 6 makes it bad. But let's say he had pocket 10s. I don't mind. I have 15 outs. Any ace, any queen, any spade. I got 15 outs. I'm a favorite on the flop. You know what I mean? And I'm putting my money in. I'm putting Barry to the test. It's a hell of a call by Barry if he makes that call, too.
Three-way action here. Frank's got pocket jacks, and I believe he raised pre-flop. And maybe did he raise there? Yeah, he did. Okay.
Well, nobody's got anything here, huh?
He's going to bet 100 here with the overpair. And the action now is over to Jay.
Just call.
Oh, he's got a call. Is he setting up a play, Dave? He's got 7-8 offsuit. He's got to be setting up a play, right?
I
Turn to
assume
3.
so.
He hasn't picked up any draw.
100.
And Frank's going to bet 100 here.
But is this really the guy you want to make a play against?
And he just calls again. I mean, maybe he thinks that Frank is
8 high
going
is good?
to check to him on the river. And Frank fills up now. And now Frank can't even be scared of a 4. There's nothing that will ever get Frank off this hand. And he's going to bet 600 here.
And you wonder if Frank actually checked the river.
Yeah.
Does Jay bet? Sometimes we don't always obviously advocate checking to induce a bluff, but against Jay's one of those players you might want to do it against.
Well, if you knew what Jay had, you would definitely check the river because you have to think that Jay was. I thought he was setting up a play on the turn, but it looked like by calling the turn he was trying to set up a play on the river, right?
I guess so. I mean, there are a few players I would never check to induce a bluff against Frank, against say, Jesus, but against a player that's pretty cagey. Not even cagey, but a player that likes to bluff. Obviously, a guy like Jay, even Mo, you might want to check to induce a bluff. Because if Mo doesn't think he can win a pot, he will bluff at it.
Right. But now,
So what time is the game? The
actually,
Patriots.
I wanted to ask you that.
I'm assuming it's a 1 o'clock game, right?
Well,
Or 10 a.m.
they
game
used
for us.
but they used to start those games on Saturdays at 12:30 Eastern,
Oh, you
which
might
is
be
really
right.
freaky. 9:30 a.m. out here, but I think it might actually be a 1:30 game.
Really? It's a
starting
late
at
game?
10:30.
East Coast?
No, 1:30. 1:30
Oh,
p.m.
okay. So 10:30 here.
Yeah. Of course, because it's Saturday. You don't know. And we get 5-way action. Limped around.
We got ace 10 10 flop here. Nobody has a 10. And nobody has an ace. And there's a 7 on the turn. It's a spade. But nobody else. But Jay is now picking up an open-ended straight draw.
Yeah, he's open-ended. Marciano's got a gut shot. Well, no one's going to bet here, though. It does not look like.
No, well, Frank's got the nuts right now with king-queen.
Well, not quite, because he needs a jack to make it, right?
No, I'm saying he actually has the nuts right now, king high.
Right.
And there's an 8. That's going to give Jay the best hands, right? No, I'm sorry. Jesus has just made a straight.
Well, Marciano's made a straight as well. They got the same hand.
Wow.
6-9. Marciano's going to bet.
Bet 100.
He's going to bet 100. And Jesus just calls.
That's
Just calls.
I got to tell you, that's. I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but it's a really smart just call.
Well, it's a third spade.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
a third spade. There's two. The board is paired.
Right.
6-9 is pretty much just a bluff catcher there.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, if the Patriots come out and dominate the game tomorrow versus the Bucks, I will
Shave your
crow. No, I will admit that the Patriots are back in the picture. But I'd be surprised. I think
you underestimate Corey Dillon. And I really think that he is still one of the top 5 running backs in the league. And a healthy Corey Dillon really adds a lot to the Patriots, and he is now healthy. Now, the problem is that Brady,
Blah, 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 blah,
you know,
blah,
Brady
blah,
is
blah.
questionable for the game. They say he's going to play, but, you know, he's got a little bit of an injury that he had last week. Now, he's never been affected by an injury before, Dave, so be interesting to see. Pocket aces here for Hobb. He's going to raise it up. Seat 4.
Aces again. Wow. Now, this is interesting. Jay's got 7s, and I think he's going to call this.
$120 raise. Jay calls.
And Barry's going to lay it down. Been a real quiet night for Barry Woods there.
Here we go to the flop. King 10-5.
Should be an easy flop for Jay to get away from.
And Hobb checks. Checks right behind Jay. Turn is an 8.
Well, he's checking to induce a bluff.
And Jay's going to bet 100. And look at that. Hobb makes a mini raise to 200.
Did I win the other hand?
Yeah.
And he's trying to trap him.
Well, the danger, of course, obviously, if Jay was really deep is, you know, say that turn was a 7 instead of an 8.
Right. I mean, let's be honest, though. The flop is...
With the king.
Flop is king 10-5.
Right.
Hobb raised. It's heads up. I checked him, and he checks behind me. Doesn't that smell fishy?
Always does. Always does.
All right, I'll give you this one.
Yeah, it smells like pocket kings.
And he shows the aces. Well, he got an extra $100 out of it. Dave.
Yeah.
But I mean, he got an extra $100. But again, if the turn was a 7, you know, he might have lost $2,500 there.
I think he would. Yeah, he would have lost something.
Yeah. So look at it that way.
I don't want to harp on the Bucks game, the Bucks Patriots game, but the game is actually at 10:30 tomorrow here.
Yes.
So
1:30 Eastern.
You don't have to wake up too early.
Yep.
And we'll see. All I'll leave it at is in September when we were talking football, I told you the Patriots were going to have a down year.
Right.
And I've been right up till now.
You have been, but again, like I said, they're getting healthy just at the right time.
You'd have probably caught a 7 on the river.
And of course, you know, you've got your second stringers that have, you know, kind of, you know, stepped it up throughout the year, Dave. So now you got 2 sets of guys that are, you know, that are good.
Stepped it up. Who they beat? Well, they beat the Jets. They beat the Buffalo Bills.
They beat the Steelers. They beat at
The
Pitts.
Steelers.
They beat the Atlanta. We got a raise here by seat 7, Ace King. That's Jay. Marciano's going to call here in early position with an Ace 9 suited.
I think.
I cannot call my
Frank is going to call with 3-5 offsuit, and Jesus is in there with Queen Rag suited if he makes the call. No, he's not in there. He mucked the Queen 4. 3-way action. Jay's the pre-flop raiser. Here we go.
And Jay's got a real hand this time.
But Frank outflops him. He's got the best hand here with middle pair.
And that's the danger sometimes playing a player like Jay or a guy like Ed. You know, these guys get their fair share of big hands also. You know, they get just as many pocket aces as we do.
Jay is going to bet 300 here.
300.
Marciano folds. I don't think Frank's going to go anywhere here, though, Dave.
Not even a club in there.
Oh, fam, not even a club. Does he think he has 2 clubs, you think?
Well, he's going to make the call. Here we go to the turn. Turns a deuce, and Frank's hand is still good here.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you put a guy in ace-king or ace-queen, it's not a bad flop or turn.
Check, check here. And the river's a queen.
Now let me ask you this. I was going to say before the queen came out, if let's say another rag card came out, like a 6 or a 9, do you throw in a value bet if you're Frank and maybe get a call from ace-king?
Well, I think that I would definitely bet the river. The only problem, though, of course, is that, again, a real cagey player, not necessarily Jay, might check that turn with an overpair. The board was somewhat connected, because now you're not scared of 2-pair, right? I mean, that's really, really deep in advance to check in order to raise on the river, but there's so many things that could chicken you out on the river.
Well, you're checking to induce a bluff, but the problem with that is it can't just be an overpair. It's got to be like almost aces, because what are you going to, you're going to check 10s? Because everyone's have a jack, a queen, a king, or an ace come out. You just gave him a free card to beat you.
It's amazing, man. This guy called him and
You know, I mean, to me, it smells like ace-king, ace-queen. And if you throw a little bet in there, and you make him pay you off, or he throws away ace-king, you're kind of conditioning him later where you can bluff him.
one more time.
I'm going to read here something for
Oh, God. Are we
From-
still
from
talking
N-
about your Patsies?
from NFL.com, Dave, because I just think it's a little fun.
Oh,
We're going to raise here by Jay. He's going to make it 90 to go with ace-3 of spades. And Marciano's going to call. Got ace-5.
wow, that's a. Now, this is Marciano playing the player. I don't think he'd call Mo's raise with ace-5. But he's going to call Jay here.
Well, Frank's going to call Jack-9. And Jesus, this time he is going to call Queen Rag off suit this time. Here we go.
Good old Queen 3.
King 8-4. And no one has hit anything here. No one has a pair.
So ace-5 is still the best hand, huh?
But Jay is going to make a continuation bet here.
He might take this down. Kind of a small bet, though. That's a little passive there, Jay. Come on, buddy. Step it
Yeah.
up. I mean, the pot's about, what, 200, 220? And he bets a little under half the pot?
Wow, and Jesus is going to make a move. He's check raise bluff, a stone cold bluff.
Well, you know what? His instincts might have told him that Jay is a little weak. I mean, the Jay's bet almost suggests like ace, like he missed the hand. He missed it. Nice play by Jesus
And is
there.
Jesus going to show it? He shows the bluff.
Nothing.
There it is, Dave.
Now he's also playing Jay stack. Jay only has about $700 or $800, so it wasn't really risking $3,000.
Right. I mean, and Jay might, he didn't have. I mean, in ace-3, he really can't beat.
No,
much.
of course not. But you wonder if Jesus, if Jay makes a pot size bet and he throws in 250 there, and it's not like a little pine bluff bet.
Right.
To steal Doyle Brunson's words there. You wonder if Jesus makes that same play.
So Tom Brady he's questionable for this week. If Brady can't play, 43-year-old backup Doug Flutie will make his first start for the Patriots since October 15th, 1989.
What is if Flutie can't play? Are you going to play for him? We'll see Bart Hansen running out there, running the first team offense.
Hey, Flutie still has mobility for an old guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the only thing I'll just say about about their injuries or whatever you want to call them, every single time they've played a real team, like when they played San Diego and they played Indianapolis, they have just gotten killed. I mean, completely outclassed. I mean, they got killed by Carolina too early in the season. Just
We got 8-way action here. Limped around.
Again?
$80 pot. My goodness. King 10-7 here with a couple of hearts.
Check.
does anybody have a pair? I mean, on the board?
Well, Barry's got does Barry have the best hand with pocket deuces?
He does.
The turn's a 7, and Barry's still good with deuces.
Yes, and the highest heart out there is the 5 of hearts by Jesus.
Jesus' hand. And he's going to bet. I mean, look at how this board missed everyone.
I mean, that's amazing. You think 8 people out there, there's no way pocket deuces can be good, can they?
I got a heart. Nice heart.
He said he's got a heart. A nice heart.
One heart only.
And Barry throws away the best hand. Barry's bluffed out again.
Give me action.
Look at this. This is bluff night,
I
folks.
think Jesus is going to take it down here. And he does take it down. And he shows
man.
the 5 of hearts.
I tell you.
Well, the funny thing about Doug Flutie, there's a really, really cool commercial that's going on TV. It's a Wheaties commercial. They did a thing with mimicking Kirk Gibson's home run with the guy playing softball and hitting the home run
Yeah, I
and
saw
then
that,
doing
yeah.
the pump. They have a new one with the Doug Flutie Hail Mary from '84 against Miami, Boston College, Miami.
Right.
And they have it in like a little, like a backyard football game, and they have the motions down absolutely perfect. The
Yeah.
guy scrambles out of the pocket, he heaves down the field, and they have it, and the guy catches it in the end zone exactly like it happened in the game. It was
What
pretty
did
cool.
I do in my past life that I have to do commentary with somebody from Boston? Man, got to relive all this over and over again.
I remember watching that game when I was in kindergarten. Limp here.
Giving the award for the best player.
What gifts are we getting? The best, the worst hand on the night.
Pot is limped around here. 5-way action. Which means it's a $100 pot.
9-4-3 out there. Once again, it really doesn't hit. And oh, well, there you go. Seat 1 has got a king 9. On the button, Eric's got king 9.
Well, Frank is going to bet here from the middle position with bottom pair. He bets 50. And I don't think that Eric's going to go anywhere here.
So you had no hand. I had.
He just calls.
Basically nothing. I had queen 6. No.
Yes.
And that keeps Marciano in there.
Oh yeah, I had a pair of 6s.
3 players.
Eric's really got to raise that up there, I think.
Turns an ace. Well, now he picks up the nut flush draw.
Yeah, but he doesn't know where he's at, though.
Away.
Problem is ace 3-4. What if somebody had deuce 5?
Well, Frank's going to bet 100 now.
Got to fire to win.
I mean, what if somebody called with 5-6? I mean, there's just some cards you don't want in there now. And now he puts himself in a spot where he doesn't have the betting lead, and he's just calling. And he might not even be in the best hands.
Well, he hasn't called yet, but you'd imagine he's going to at least call here.
Imagine. But imagine if he raises that flop, right? Marciano doesn't call. Frank, he might just win the pot right there. He happens to still have the best hand, but how does he know that?
He makes the call. And Marciano's going to overcall with pocket 6s.
Wow.
This is kind of the first questionable move I've seen him make all night, and the river's a 4, and king 9 is good.
Right. Let's see it now.
I was going to say, if Frank keeps firing.
Yeah, if Frank fires hard here, can Eric call?
We can look. He's going to bet 300 here, Dave.
Now, I don't know if that's enough. We'll see.
The pot is about, I want to say, 600, so he's betting about half the size of the pot.
If he bets 600, I don't know if Eric can call this.
I mean, how does the ace really change anything? Unless, obviously Frank had a pair with an ace and made 2 pair on the turn.
Well, that's the thing. Well, now you can't beat. Remember, all you can beat is a 9. You can't beat. He might have also been betting with ace 9. Who knows?
Like you said, I mean, he misplayed it on the flop. He never raised it. Now he's pretty much, backed himself in the corner where he could kind of be scared to make this call now.
I mean, well, it's an interesting play. By calling, he might end up winning more money. But he's putting himself in a spot where he might not even call. I mean, let's be honest. What would Frank bet, and bet? What you're trying to think here, okay, maybe he has a 9, maybe he has 2 pair, maybe he had ace 9.
Well, against the same player, it would be ace 9.
Or unless he took a shot with maybe he took a shot with, maybe he has 4-3. Who the heck knows? You never know with these guys, their hands they're turning over. But by just calling, you didn't get
I don't know if Eric's going to make the call here, Dave, and he really misplayed it by playing it passively post-flop, and he folds.
Yeah, and Marciano behind him now.
He's going to call. He calls.
And he's going to win the pot with 6s.
And we got to take a look at Seat 1's face here after the hand, because he's got to be pissed.
And Marciano makes a big call there and takes it down.
Yeah.
And really a questionable call with 6s the entire way.
You remember also, the reason why Eric might have, also not made that river call is because he's got Marciano behind him.
Yeah, but he only has Marciano behind him because he didn't raise the flop.
Right.
How long you gonna play like 2 days? You bet, but not
And like Marciano says, he goes, if he calls, I don't call.
Right.
How do you know I had 3?
Hey, look, Frank laughing it off. He doesn't care. He's having a good time. And that's what poker's all about.
But he's going to move over here to Seat 2.
Jesus things.
Take your time, man. Wait up. For what?
Seat 6 is going to raise here, Jesus. He's going to make it 100 to go. He's got pocket deuces. And Jay, Jesus has got ace 7 offsuit. Jay's got pocket deuces, and he calls.
No raise, no move.
I got something for you, man. Don't worry.
And Jesus has once again raised Hobbs' big blind. And I think that's, becoming a little issue between those two, Dave.
Why would I'd love Jesus to raise my big blind.
Right.
I get to act last. I can isolate Jesus if I want to.
Three-way action here. Jesus is the raiser. And Frank plays queen rag suited, and he hits top pair.
And Frank just bluffed.
And he's going to bet 100, and Jesus quickly calls.
And that'll probably save Jay. I was going to say, is Jay going to make a move here because Frank just showed a big bluff. Jesus says backdoor nothing. Backdoor spades draw.
You guys are amazing.
Ace of spades there. And William Frick sends us an email, wants to know if we will be showing live at the bike on Christmas weekend.
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. Turn here is a 4.
That changes nothing here. Jesus needs an ace and only an ace to win this hand.
And Frank bets again. And Jesus folds.
Okay, we're actually going to have some sort of special thing, right?
Yes, we're gonna have I mean, we are actually dark. We're not doing live shows between basically ending next week. From Friday on of next week. Our last show is Friday of next week. We're taking the week off between Christmas and New Year's off.
Right.
We'll be showing a special.
Yes.
We
Little
will get
teaser
your
there.
live at the bike fix.
Well, I'll be in
And it's
New
a
York.
pretty cool special.
Yes. Very exciting.
But my producer does not want us to mention it, so.
No, got to tease him, tease him.
How many players?
Got a straddle here by Jesus.
But we promise, though, by the time you're sick of your family, you'll be able to get away from them and watch Live at the Bike.
1 million more.
Because here at the bike, we are family.
Jesus says 1 million more.
1 million? Wow.
Three-way action here. King, Jack, deuce with a couple clubs.
Well, Jesus has outflopped them both, huh?
It's got bottom pair.
I mean, look at these hands they're playing.
Turns to 3. Now Hob has a pair.
50, no look.
And he's going to bet. Jesus might call here with a pair. I mean, Jesus went wrong here by not betting with the pair in position, right? I mean, I know it's a small pot.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
River's a 4. And now Hobbs made 2 pair.
Yeah, but Jesus is open-ended.
Hob bets 100 here. And Jesus calls.
Little value bet, and Hob gets $100 from him.
One more card.
Open.
Yeah, that's done. Let's go.
2 pair. There it is. I don't think that sometimes Jesus, I don't necessarily know if he knows that that's the river card that comes off sometimes. Because
Oh,
sometimes
he
thinks-
knew that was the last card. I think he was just playing.
Button's going to be move over here to seat 4.
You think after the game, Jesus will put those little placards on his car?
Here we go with another chip count. I guess Barry must have just went into his pocket, right? What was he at 86? Was he at 6,000 or 8,600?
No, he was at
bucks?
8,400. He did win a couple of small hands.
Okay. And again, Frankie's moved up a little bit. Hob has moved up, and Jesus, of course, is in for several thousand.
And obviously, that's not Mo. That's actually Alan in seat 9, and he's in for 1,200.
Right. Pot is straddled here by Jay. And we're going to see 4-way action here. Jay's got a pocket pair in the straddle spot.
He's had deuces like all night long, and he's
100
never hit a set.
$160 pot here. Queen 5-4 with a couple diamonds. And deuces are the best hand right now.
Amazing.
Frank's going to bet 50, and now what is Jay going to do with the deuces? I don't think he buys it now. He's going to call.
Yeah.
Problem here is you're vulnerable to every single card in the
Yeah,
deck, right?
it's one of those things. I have no problem laying the hand down deuces if you don't hit your set, but if you're going to play it, you better raise it. Take control of the pot.
Right. Marciano folds to the
Now,
side.
I mean, what's going to hit that you're going to like, short of a deuce?
Turns a 10,
I mean, how do you know if that's good or not?
and Frank checks. So now does Jay have to bet? No, he's going to check. The river's a king, and deuces survive here, Dave.
Yep.
Un ball de clam chowder.
I mean, I guess Frank is passive enough. I mean, we've seen him blow up a couple of times, but sometimes Frank does just shut down.
Did I have this discussion with you before? What do you guys usually eat on Christmas? Do you have a Christmas goose?
Christmas goose? No, we're probably...
Isn't that traditional?
Yeah, no, I've never had a Christmas goose.
Wasn't that in a Christmas Story?
I guess so.
Yeah, yeah.
I never had a Christmas goose, I gotta tell you. What am I gonna have? I don't know. Maybe,
Ham, prime rib, turkey.
probably turkey. I'll probably have a Christmas turkey.
We usually do prime rib plus turkey at my house. Nice prime rib.
I mean, where will I be?
Because
Well,
it's not like Thanksgiving where it's obviously turkey, right?
right,
all
no,
the
and
time.
some people do ham on Thanksgiving.
Instead of turkey?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, I think our own Shirley Rosario is a ham
Really?
girl, yeah.
Honey baked ham, huh? Pocket queens here are going to raise to 50. And Hob is going to call here with Jack 6 off suit, Dave. Oh, that's a little strange.
It's odd. I mean, I don't mind calling with kind of speculative hands. But Jack 6, I mean, what do you really want to hit with Jack 6?
Well, 7-way action here. We got $350 pot.
I mean, I don't care how many people in the pot. What is Jack 6? What do I want there?
Ace, deuce, 3. There's a scare card here for Marciano.
Now, is Jesus going to go broke again because Eric's got him out kicked?
And Eric's going to bet right in here to Marciano.
Bet 90.
Going to bet 90.
And look at Lee. Lee has got a pair of 4s, and he's got a gut shot. But he folds.
And what is Marciano going to do? Marciano, wow, someone bet right into all those people. You just got to get away from the queens, Dave.
Yeah. When 7 people call my bet and I have queens and an ace flops,
90 the pot.
thank you for playing.
Right.
How you doing? Good. How are you?
And Frank's going to call with pocket 7s. Are you kidding me?
280.
And Jesus is going to check raise here, Dave. And like you said, he might go. Although Eric is really not that deep. Now, it's interesting. You've got a guy that's check raised 4 different players. If it was a solid player, I might throw my ace jack in the muck right now. But if it's Jesus, I mean, he could be doing it with any ace.
You said it best. I mean,
Yeah.
ace jack in a no-limit game is garbage.
Right.
And if a guy check raises 3 people in a raised pot, ace jack is in the muck quicker than anything. I mean, but like you said, Jesus is Jesus.
Well, look, Eric doesn't have that much left. I think he's probably just going to push the rest, I would imagine.
He's talking in Spanish. He's on the
He only has like one, or he's got, well, it's like
Yeah, he's got about $300.
maybe 300, yeah. And there it is, Dave. It goes right in.
Yeah. Okay, at least Marciano gets away from it now, and his Frank should throw away these 7s now pretty easily.
All in 300.
And Jesus is going to need an 8, and only an 8, because the deuce and the 3 out there, I mean,
300.
Eric's jack is almost definitely going to play.
Well, Jesus is going to call here, and he's going to have to suck out.
It's only another $100.
110.
110 more. And the pot's about, I want to say, about 900 now, right?
50 more, and he makes
Oh.
the call.
It's a no-brainer there.
20 more.
Well, he's going to need to spike an 8 here. Turn is a 6. River is a 5.
Nope.
That's not going to. The ace jack's going to play.
That's not going to do it there. Lee would have won the hand. He had pocket 4s.
Again, you know, I always sometimes get on Barry Woods for making big calls with just one pair, top
Right.
pair. But I've never seen any of these Mexican poker players ever since we've done the show, whether it was Jesus, Abel, any of these guys ever lay down top pair, regardless of kicker.
Yeah. If you've got top pair, top kicker, something like that, you got a big hand like that,
Yeah,
or 2 pair, you need to bet for value at these games.
yeah.
Someone has ace king.
And again,
we
I
hear-
think it comes back to the fact that they are Mexican poker players, which is in essence is 5-card stud.
Yeah.
You know, you play a game that you're familiar with, and now you move over to this new game, Hold'em, and you know maybe they don't fully understand.
Yeah, and to be honest with you,
concepts of it.
I don't understand really Mexican poker that much in the sense of, you know, what is a really great hand? I know 5-card stud, but when you throw the joker in there, obviously that does mix it up.
Right. But still, if you look at straight 5-card stud, one pair.
Oh, one pair's
Aces,
great in
yeah.
5-card stud, especially a big pair, queens, kings, aces.
Right.
Those are really big hands. Ace high is not even that bad a hand
Right.
in 5-card stud.
See, 5's going to raise here. 20. 120.
I'm just not sure when you throw that one joker in there, how does that mix it up?
Right.
You know, I would have no idea what the average holding would be in Mexican poker.
And Frank's going to take it down. It's the first time we haven't seen a flop in a while there, Dave. He had pocket 10s. So you actually like Tampa Bay. You know, Tampa Bay is getting 4.5 points.
It's in New England. I mean,
Right.
not that many teams can beat New England in New England.
It's going to be cold, snowy.
Yeah.
You've got the champion, Tom Brady.
And Tampa Bay actually, their backup quarterback's been playing for about 3 or 4 weeks now,
Who's
and he's
that?
still in there. It's Chris Sims actually.
Ah, Chris Sims. Phil Sims' son. He went to
Texas.
Texas. He's from New Jersey. Limped around here.
Let's go, Barry.
8 players.
8-way action. You know, it was funny.
$160 pot to the flop. Yeah.
Steve Young questioned his toughness, and his dad didn't like it too much.
Yeah, I
Sims.
saw that.
Jack 9-5 here. And again, no one really has much here.
I mean, does anybody have a jack? Well, Frank's got a 9.
Frank's got a 9. He's going to bet with it. It's the best hand.
And we do apologize if we're a little slow on the go here, but there's so many hands, and obviously we are live, unedited, unscripted. Sometimes it's difficult to decipher what exactly is the best hand.
Right.
Heads up.
We get a call here by Marciano. He's got a gut shot to the 6. And Marciano's going to check, and Frank's going to bet again. Oh, and Marciano calls again, Dave.
Wow. Well, you know, a lot of players play their A game.
And there it is. The 6 comes off on the river.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he checked it. He got there and he checked it at the end. How do you not bet the river? Are you
We've
kidding
seen
me?
it twice now. Hob made his trip
Yeah.
queens early in the show and checked it, and then and Frank checked behind him. And here he makes his gut shot and he checks it.
Right.
9, 6.
What a call.
And look at this. Statistically, thank you, Russ McGinley, for putting this up on 2+2. The Tampa Bay Bucks are 0-20 in temperature that is 40 degrees or lower.
How warm is it going to be in New England?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be under 40 degrees in December.
I don't want to hear it from you, man.
Button is in seat 8. Small blind is $10. That's Allen. Big blind is actually in seat 2. That's Lee. Call him Papa here on Live at the Bike. Seat 1, Eric is taking a break. Action is to Marciano here. And he's going to lay it down, but Hob is going to limp in an early position with ace-queen. And I got to tell you, in a game like this, okay, well, he's going to raise. This is interesting here. Jesus has raised with king 6. Now, I'm wondering, is Hob going to re-raise now with ace-queen? When everybody limps in, limps in for $60 or $70,
Just because it's you. Anybody else?
is Hob going to re-raise with ace-queen in early position? And sure enough, everybody's limping in. There you go.
Well, there's going to be a lot of dead money in there.
Right, now, if you're Hob, do you make a nice, hefty re-raise? Or is he just going to call? I mean, do you really want to take ace-queen offsuit against 5 opponents?
And it looks like he is going to re-raise. There it is, Dave. He's going to do it.
Nice play there.
3, 7.
The original raise was $70.
Yeah, he's going to make it 370.
There you go. I don't know if anybody can call this.
Jesus' chip stack is slowly dwindling down there once again.
And Barry's just sitting there going, this guy's making a move. This guy's got nothing.
Well, you got ace rag offsuit there, Barry.
But sometimes it's tough, though. Sometimes you can even put the guy on a rag. You can put the guy on nothing and still not call.
And Allen folds the jack-9 of diamonds. A nice move there by Hob. He's going to pick up that dead money. I like the hat that Hob is wearing as well. A nice hat.
Get an interesting post here from LA Poker 17, and obviously we really appreciate the criticism as well as the praise. And he talks about that we're showing our limit backgrounds by constantly advocating raises with 1 pair hands.
2 blue chips will do it.
And he's saying that's a mistake in no limit, and I disagree with that. I think in a hand when you're on the button and you have top pair, especially in a game like this that's so people are in there with any hand.
And they're gonna and they will call. I mean, they might call raises with 2nd or 3rd pair.
Yeah, I mean, I want to raise to see where I'm at also.
Yeah. Well, I understand that this guy, LA Poker, is a presence on 2+2, Dave. I don't know his name himself. And a lot of times, a lot of these guys that play no-limit games like online in tough games, really tough games, then that might actually not be
100%.
That's a good strategy. But look at this game. I mean, are we watching the same game?
Yeah.
This is all about value raising and value betting
Yeah.
in this game.
But we really do appreciate the criticism. Obviously, the one thing that I always say, the great thing about poker is that you can always learn. And you can always improve your game by debating with other good players.
Pot's limped around here. Ace-Queen-4 with a couple of hearts. And again, no one really has much. And it gets checked around. Turn is a 6. And it looks like it's going to get checked around again.
100. 150.
You got me beat.
And seat 8 is going to bet 100 here. Barry, he's got deuce 4. And he gets Lee off the best hand there, Dave. There it is.
And obviously,
Barry getting the massage.
yeah. And the last thing he says here, in his quote, I just want to say, he says, if you raise, you almost always get the worst hands to fold and the better ones to call.
Yeah.
And that is 100% true in a good, tough, no-limit game.
Right.
And obviously very good advice. But are we seeing that tonight? No, of course not.
Right.
We're seeing gut shot call. We're seeing second pair call. We're seeing people call with Jack 6. You know, I mean, any two cards pretty much. So obviously you've got to change your strategy depending on the game you're in.
Hey, look at this. Barry's going to mix it up again. I guess he liked Queen Rag. This time he's got Queen Rag suited. He's going to raise to 60. You know, it's interesting because Hav has King Queen here, Dave. King Queen suited. So if a Queen comes out, will Barry get into trouble if it's top pair? We've got a ton of other people in the hand as well. Jack Deuce 9 here. No one's got a jack. It looks like the best hand is Jay in seat 7 with King 9.
Yep.
But Barry was the pre-flop raiser.
250.
He's going to bet 250 here. And I want to say that the pot was about 420, so he's betting about half the size of the pot. And that might be, well, let's see what Jay's going to do here with the King 9. He's going to check raise them all in. And Barry can't even call how much extra it is. Well, we'll see how much extra it is. It's another 450, but he's got nothing.
Well, he's got a pair of deuces.
Well, actually, you're right. He does. He's got that.
He's got backdoor
pair of
flush
deuces and
draw.
hearts.
You know, if he thinks that his two pair is good, if he thinks another two, he's got, you know, he's got 5 outs plus backdoor hearts. He can beat a draw. He can beat Queen 10. You know, if he puts Jay on Queen 10, he's actually in good shape.
Right. I want to say the pot is 900 plus what Jay raised there, which looks like another 300. So it's about a $1,200 pot, 300 to call. So he's getting about 4 to 1 on his money. He's going to let it go.
And Jay takes it down. The one thing I'll say, obviously, also is by raising in a tough game, you also give away the strength of your hand, which can be very dangerous in no limit. But in a game like this, you can pretty much, to me, you can pretty much play this game ABC.
Right.
And bet for value, and you would be winning.
Button moves over here to seat number... I believe it's seat number 3 there.
Yeah.
That
Small
is
blind
Felicio.
is Hav, $10. Big blind is Frank there.
Again, we're playing 10-20. No limit hold'em here. The brown chips are $10 chips. The white chips are hundreds. And the purples are 25s. There's not a lot of purple chips out there for some reason tonight, Dave. The corner
No,
chips.
yeah.
Poker here. Grande, big blind.
Tens and white.
Time player. We're down over here.
Oftentimes you can see how a game is playing by what chips are out there.
Right. Jesus limps in the good old 9-3 suited under the gun.
Some hidden value there, I tell you.
Limp here, man.
Interesting post from Finns. He's a new poster, so actually his first post. But I want to get to it. It's an interesting question.
5-way action here. It's a $100 pot. And it looks like it's 10-9 deuce. Jesus has got a 9, but Barry has a better kicker.
Actually, and so does Hav. That was the case 9 out there.
Jesus is going to bet.
100.
He bets 100. He bets the pot. Jay's got bottom pair here. And he's going to make the call, Dave, with deuce 3 with 3 people back behind him.
How can you not raise with top pair in a game like this? What, are you crazy?
And Hav is going to call. Barry mucked the best
3
hand.
players.
Hav overcalls with 6-9. Turn is an ace, probably playing the players, Jesus and Jay, Dave.
Check.
Check here. It looks like, and Hav has the best hand. Whoa, I thought it got checked around.
Your turn. All right, you can bet now. I said it was your turn. You had your chips like this. And then he checked behind you.
Well, I think that Jay is arguing that he wanted to bet the turn, but the dealer burned and turned.
1 pair.
You might have to make a decision.
Well, anyways, it got checked down, and Hav is actually going to...
Win the hand.
Is that 6 going to play here?
Okay.
It's a pair of 9s, yeah, with an ace-10.
No, it's not.
No, it
Eighth
doesn't
place.
play. The 8th place.
Yep,
Chop
best
it up.
5 cards, obviously.
Yeah,
Both players have a pair of 9s with an ace, 10, 8.
right.
Now, Finns on 2+2 He says here, admittedly, my own game has more holes in it than stars in the heaven, but my worst sin is boredom. I get bored and I don't keep my mind in the game. And he says, what are some ways to force myself to concentrate? And to me, that's just discipline. I mean, if you can't concentrate in the game, you got to get up and leave. You know, if you could only concentrate in 20-minute spurts, well, then only play in 20-minute spurts. And if you can concentrate for an hour spurts, play for an hour. And obviously, hopefully, you can build that up to where you can play for 6, 7, 8, 10 hours or so forth. It's something I like to do if I'm playing really bad, or if I'm just not concentrating, I'm not focused. I really like to get up and walk away, take a break, do whatever I have to do to get refocused on the game.
Pot's limped around here.
5 players.
5-way action.
Obviously, I say that Tuesday notwithstanding.
Pace 3-9 here with a couple diamonds. Again, someone doesn't have a top pair.
Check around.
Checked around, turns a 9.
And does Frank get the best hand here with 3-4?
Looks like it.
Yeah. 2 pair, huh?
Boy, there aren't a lot of people that are just taking stabs at it all here tonight. River's a queen.
Well, I'm telling you, if Frank, you got to think that pot's yours there. Nobody has the ace. Nobody has a 9.
Well, Barry's got a queen, and he's going to bet 100 now.
Yeah, that was my bet.
Might he get called by Frank?
Wow. I mean,
Surrender to? Let's see what I have.
funny thing is, Barry actually is probably the only player that makes a stab at that with nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of these other players aren't making those
What
moves.
can I tell you? Thank you, Barry.
I hit my hand on the river.
Barry, you're the big line if you want it.
Just take it out what I gave you.
Yes, sir.
And the button now is going to move over there to seat 5. Frank looks like he's having a good time. I think this is Frank's first time on the show.
Wow.
Oh, you know.
Raise to 80.
I guess he has played with us in the
Yeah,
past. I think we
thought I
named him
recognized him.
Francisco. Maybe it's been a while, Dave.
Yeah, I thought I recognized
Sometimes
him.
you get you do so many shows, you're like,
Yeah, they blend together, obviously.
yeah,
80.
You think about it, 9 players a night,
right.
sometimes 10 or 11 players a night, times what? Only a couple of hundred shows?
We had a raise here by Allen to 80
players.
pocket 10s. And actually, you know what? It was raised by Barry, I think.
Yeah, and Frank, actually, you were right there, actually.
Yeah, Allen actually was.
Alan raised it with the 10s,
200.
and he's going to do a continuation bet and see if anybody has a king, and he's not going to like it when Frank calls here.
Frank called his pre-flop raise there with King Rag.
Now, this is a different type of board. Now, if I have top pair with no kicker, I might just call this. But and there's also really no draw out there either. It's King 9-3. You know what I mean? Barry's not going to call with no draw there.
2 players.
Heads up here. Turns a deuce. Let's see how Allen's still only facing 1 overcard. The problem here is that Frank could he could have a 9 or 3 here. You just don't know, and Allen's going to bet again.
Where's the seat 5? I call.
And this is a time where, the 10s, Allen might bet there just to check it down in a showdown. Because if you check the turn, do you want to face a big bet coming at you on the river, right?
Right. Oh,
He's
Jay.
going to bet again.
I'm sorry, Alan, what are you doing?
Tall.
And he only bets 200. What's that going to do? What is he value betting?
Well,
10.
Does he think Frank is calling with 9?
well, actually, you know what? Allen was out of position that hand, so I think that it's almost like those were like little stop bets, Dave. I mean, the river...
Stop bets for what, though? Stop bets so I can lose less money? I mean, the flop is King 9-3 rainbow.
Yeah.
I bet 200. Fine. Okay. He called me. I bet 200. Okay, fine. He called me. Check it.
Lines, please.
What?
Alan, you want the big one?
Frank's not going to bet that river anyway. And just not to, obviously, I love to discuss, when somebody obviously brings in criticism or whatever, other ideas, obviously we want to learn from this. If you look at that specific hand where we were advocating raising with King 9, it was also Frank coming out and betting. And I'm on the button with top pair and a good
Raise it,
kicker.
make it 90.
Right? And there's a player behind me. I mean, I think you got to look at each specific situation.
Well, you got to play the player. I
Right.
mean, if someone's going to come at you that's real solid, you really got to think twice. But like
Right.
you said, he was betting with a 3.
Right. Now, in that case there, I actually liked Frank. Frank Gonzalez never raising.
Yeah.
Just check and call, check. I mean, just smooth calling each time.
Call.
Raising. What was Rays do there?
Look at this. I think that Marciano brought this one in for a raise with pocket jacks and got 4 callers.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's still good there.
8,
Barry
6,
might get himself
3.
in trouble here. Though.
Yeah,
Look at
Barry's
this
got
guy.
an overpair.
Uh-oh.
And the pot is about $300, 60 times 5 pre-flop.
Now, what is Barry going to do? Is Barry going to bet this, you think?
Well, let's see. Yeah, he's going to bet.
And what is Marciano going to do with jacks? Is Marciano going to raise him?
300.
Well, Barry bets 300. You know, if Barry has, been watching Marciano, I was wondering if Marciano's going to raise here. I think Barry needs to get away from the hand. And even a call here, you got to wonder, what is Marciano calling with?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the type of player who's going to call. I'm going to call, with Ace King, right?
Yeah.
Although Frank might call with Ace Jack, you never know. No, he's going
Now,
to
you
let
can
it
make
go.
an argument for Marciano either just smooth calling, but $300 is a pretty big bet. You probably don't need to raise it to drive anybody out.
Right.
And Barry's going to
And
check
Barry
it.
checked blind. Turns a 5. And Marciano checks right behind him, and the river's a 9. And maybe the check behind confused Barry.
100.
He's going to bet 100, Dave. It's clearly a blocker bet, isn't it?
Yes.
Jacks.
And the jacks are good here.
Although I got to tell you, I don't know if Marciano even fires on the river. He played it so passively.
Yeah.
He probably could have doubled up. I don't think Barry gets away from an overpair there.
Yeah,
No
against
way.
Barry Woods.
Thousand behind
Well,
nine,
yeah, but the thing is that, what I was going to say was if Marciano showed strength in that hand, whether it was raising the flop, which he didn't do, or betting big on the turn.
But he's only got $1,000. And only, I
Did
want
he
to
only
say
have $1,000? I thought he had more money than that.
maybe $1,400.
Okay.
I just
I
don't
think
I don't
Barry
see
should
Barry.
be paying attention to the type of player that is
Right.
making this move, and it's just tens.
Yeah.
The guy could easily have a bigger overpair, right?
Right, but he's also seen Marciano call 3 bets with pocket 6s and then win it down. You saw him make a
But
gut
again,
shot
I
on the
mean,
river.
that was against certain types of players, there,
Yeah.
though, right? Again, I mean, if you were to sit down and watch my play against Jesus and Frank when I play with them heads up, well, you might think my play is a little strange.
Oh, well, I obviously.
We had a raise here by, I believe,
Call 100 more.
Frank with the suited connector with the 8-9 of diamonds. He gets called by Jesus.
3 players.
And we're going to see 3-way action. And Jay's in there with ace rag. And Jay's got an ace. He's got the only heart in the hand. Ace 10-9 with a couple hearts. Frank has a pair. Jesus has a pair. Check, check. And Jay's going to move the rest of his money all in. Looks like maybe...
All in.
Oh, 1,100. That's a big bet,
And
dude.
how big's the pot?
I mean, the pot's 200. He's bet 1,100 into a $200 pot.
And is Frank Call thinking about it here?
He's asking how much.
He's got 2 diamonds in his hand and bottom pair.
1,020.
It's actually only 1,000.
Oh, well, in that case, it's not worth it.
And Jesus shows the 10 and folds.
Jay risks $1,100 to win $200.
Right.
So make that profitable. He's got to win that like 6 out of 7 times.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We have about a little over a half an hour left in the show. Until the weekend, Dave. And again, this show will rerun all the way up until tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. If you also want to check out every single show that we've ever done, you can click on the archives banner, Dave, in the upper left-hand corner of your screen.
How much are we charging for that now? $40, $50?
Only $14.95 a month.
Still?
Still.
That's a shocker.
That's like 50 cents a day.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Jay's going to come in for a raise
I mean,
here.
the amazing thing is that it was $14.95 a month, 8-9 months ago, when we only had a couple hundred hours of content. Now we've got 2,000 hours of content.
Jay's
Crazy.
raised here from the cutoff. He's got ace, queen of clubs in seat 7. And, wow, look at that. Well, Hoff's going to call a queen 10 off suit here. I guess, again, playing the player, but he's badly dominated.
And that's the problem. Sometimes you get put in those positions where you call with inferior holdings because you think, oh, Jay can have anything.
Well, Frank's got a gut shot straight draw, but Jay's got overcards and a flush draw. It's a great flop.
monster from Jay here.
He bets 200.
I mean, if the queen comes out there, I think Hoff loses, doubles Jay up.
He was in big trouble.
And that's sometimes the problem. It's the reason players like Ed and the reason like players like Jay and Corporation Mike, it's the reason they get action.
Frank's going to call this bet. He's got a gut shot, but he needs the 3 that's not a club, and there it is, an offsuit 3. Are you kidding me?
That's disgusting.
Are you kidding? And he checks it, and Jay takes a card, and the river is an ace.
And what is Frank going to bet here?
400.
But Frank checked the straight. And Jay bet for the ace for value here. I'm surprised he bet the river there, Dave.
Does he know he has the straight?
Wow. Jay bet the river.
And I think he's just going to smooth call.
Yeah.
Said ace high. No, you got better than ace high. You got a pair of aces, there, buddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry, why would if I was Jay, I would have checked behind there.
That's a bad beat.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, you can't put the guy in a 4. He checked it twice to me.
I know, but there are other things that he would check there, scared
Two
of the
pair.
straight that can still beat me.
Yeah, 2 pair or
absolutely.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see what I can get called by that I'm not going to beat. There.
Where did you play, man?
Button's going to move over there to seat 9.
That's Allen. Small blind is Eric. Big blind is Lee. And we got a couple of limpers there. Limp. And it looks like everybody... Wow, this could be a family pot. No, Allen throws it away.
I mean, is this 1-2 limit hold'em? 8-way action.
Yeah, it is 1-2, but it's 1-2 $10 chips.
This is a great game. This is probably one of the best games in terms of game selection that we've had on here in a
Oh.
long time. I mean, my God. 9-5-4 here. Like I said, when you're looking for a game, Dave, you don't like it too wild. You've got a couple weak players in the game. You've got a couple solid players in the game, and it's pretty loose passive right now.
Oh, this game is fabulous.
Now, we had a bet here
Make it 300.
by Frank, I believe, with a pair of 5s, and Jesus is going to raise with top pair. He's going to make it 300. And Jay calls with king 5. There's raising with top pair there.
Yeah, now, I mean, obviously, ace 9 I would have liked a lot better, or king 9
Right.
a lot better than 9 deuce.
Right.
But hey, at least Jesus is going to get the hand heads up with a hand that he wants to get it heads up with.
Well, let's see if Frank is going to make the call. It's not quite heads up yet. Frank calls.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather the raise than a call there. I don't want to just smooth call there.
Turns a queen. And Jesus still has the best hand.
Yeah, we apologize. We actually just assumed that,
Frank would have folded.
yeah.
Jesus is going to bet again.
500.
He's going to bet 500 here.
And he's in good shape because they share the 5 there.
Pot's about $1,200. It's 500 to call. How can Jay call here with king 5?
Especially with the caller behind you. And there's only 1-5 left, folks. And obviously, so Jay's got pretty much, 4 outs? 1-5 and 3 kings.
Well, he's going to put it in there. He's going to shove it in. Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, that gets Frank out of the hand, and
I mean,
obviously...
this is real cash, folks.
Yeah.
These
This
aren't
pot-
tournament chips.
Look at this hand. 9
Right.
deuce versus king 5, and this pot is $2,000.
Right. Jesus needs to dodge a king or a 5.
And Jay didn't have it covered, didn't even have the $500 bet covered, so... He was moving. He actually called all in with 5 king.
Here we go to the river. The river's an 8, and Jesus escapes.
Well, nothing like betting 9 deuce for value there, huh?
And I think that's
Well,
going
what
to
do
do
you
it for
expect?
Jay.
I mean, come on, Jay. He called off all his money with a 4-outer.
8 over.
And then got mad when he didn't hit it.
Unbelievable. Boy, Dave, the Jets have a real powerhouse, interesting game this week, huh?
Oh,
Against
yeah,
the
I'll be
Dolphins.
glued to the TV. Can't wait for it. Yeah.
Actually, you know, the other Saturday game tomorrow, pretty good game, Kansas City at New York, the Giants. Great interconference games.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, I'm just still bemoaning
You're
my Jets.
lamenting the Jets.
The only positive thing that'll come out of this season, hopefully, is that Herman Edwards will get fired.
You like Herman Edwards?
I've told you numerous times, I think he's awful.
Well, they're not going to get the top pick. They sealed that by beating the
Yeah.
Raiders last
Oh.
week.
Well, hopefully, maybe we'll get Matt Leinart.
We have a raise here by Frank. He's going
Look
to
at
make
these
it
pocket pairs. Everybody's got one.
Frank makes it 120 to go with pocket 7s. Jesus is called here with Jack Rag suited. Barry's got pocket deuces. And Hav in the big blind's got 10s. I wonder to see how
Hav
is
actually,
gonna play it.
Hav actually limped in.
Oh, he did. You're right.
Is he going to re-raise now with 10s?
And look at this.
Now, there's two ways to play this. He can call this bet
Marciano's in there with pocket 5.
and see if he can hit a 10, or he can re-raise.
He did raise. He did pull the limp re-raise.
Paid it 400.
He's going to make it 400 more, and Frank instantly calls with pocket 7s.
Well, that's the card. That's the hand you don't mind calling you.
Jesus is out of there. And Frank and Hav are pretty deep here, Dave. You wonder.
If it comes out rags.
Raggy board.
Now, Hav's in bad position. Like I said before, he's always behind Frank and Jesus. I'd love to be in Barry's spot.
Got a $900 pot here going to the flop. King, King, 3. Both players might think their hand's good right now.
That's not a bad flop at all for either hand.
And Hav is going to bet here.
1,000.
He's going to bet $1,000. That's a pot-sized bet. Look at that, though. Frank is out of there. Did not get involved.
Yeah. That's a big bet there by Hav, huh? $1,000. It is a pot-sized bet. Now, interesting, I was saying how I like Barry's position. Obviously, he gets to act after Jay, Jesus, and Frank Gonzalez
Right.
by being in seat 8.
A couple other good games here. Steelers, Vikings, Chargers, Colts, Dave, this week.
Oftentimes, you'll see players get up and try new chairs just to like, get lucky. Which I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
But I often will move
Absolutely.
to get position on a different player.
Absolutely. Falcons, Bears.
Yeah, that should be a good matchup.
Yeah.
There. That'll be interesting.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good game there. Look at this. Cleveland at Oakland. Ooh.
I know Isaac will be watching that game.
Oh, the ratings for that game will be just through the roof. What's all that money doing in the middle of the pot?
Hav is actually getting up and leaving.
Why is Hav getting up?
I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't you want to stay in this game?
I don't understand. Maybe he's just got somewhere to go. He's got a hot date or something.
Well, you wonder if is Hav a ladies' man?
I don't know. I have no
I mean,
idea.
he's well groomed, like you said today.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah. Maybe he's rushing home and he's got a date, you know?
Mo's coming back in the game, and there comes in seat 7. That is Sean.
I mean, you can't fault the guy if he's going to go
That's
get...
Shaheen, right?
Yeah, Shaheen. If he's going to go get a little something, you know? You can't fault him.
Raises 60.
I would recommend that he doesn't date a girl from Hooters. But
I guess that's turned bad again.
oh, you don't even know. Oh, I guess I discussed this with Shirley. Raise here by Eric with looks like King Jack.
Yeah, King Jack in late position. He's going to take it three-handed.
Frank calls and Barry calls. Barry in there were 6-10 offsuit.
Yeah, it's about a $300 pot.
And actually, there's another player in there, seat 4. And that's Allen. And Allen's got 10-7. He's got 2 pair.
Wow, and Barry has 10-6. Is Barry going to get himself in trouble here?
Frank's got middle pair. And Allen's going to come out and bet.
Good for him.
150.
He's going to bet 150.
Into about a $300 pot.
Why is Barry playing 6-10?
Offsuit, I don't know. If Shirley was here, she'd smack him.
And I think Frank's going to call in the middle here. From what we've seen, he's got a gut shot, middle pair, and he calls.
Oh, definitely. He's also got backdoor spade draw. What, are you kidding me? It's a monster. Barry might raise this, and this is the kind of hand I don't know if I don't even know if I want to play here with 10-6.
He folds.
Yeah, okay, there you go. He's got top pair with no kicker.
Right.
If the 9 comes, he's got a straight, but he doesn't even know if it's good.
Turn is a queen.
400.
And Allen bets 400, and Frank quickly calls, and the river's a king.
All in.
And Allen's going to move the rest all in here with 2 pair.
That's an aggressive play there. I don't think Frank can call this with just a pair of 8s here. He's got, what, 4th pair?
Moved in here for 800. That's pretty much a pot-sized bet, Dave. Pot's about 15 or 1,600, maybe a little more than that.
And he lays it down.
Frank
Allen takes it down. That's a nice bet in there by Allen. He just kept firing.
You know, I got word in my ear. Obviously,
Yeah.
the cameraman and the floor hostess can
See how maybe off the reflection.
can obviously
Confirm.
Can confirm it. And I think Ray
Yeah.
told us that Hav has got a hot double date with his wife.
Oh, there you go.
Tonight.
Actually, you know what? That's pretty stupid. I actually knew Hob was married.
Oh, yeah.
And should have said that.
I'm just kidding.
Did Ray say that they picked up a girl? Him and his wife picked up a girl?
No, for George.
Oh.
They're double dating
really?
George, Hob,
really?
and so forth. And the bigger question is, what kind of girl would date George? And I don't mean that. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I'm just curious. What kind of girl would date George? You know, nothing wrong with him. Greek poker god. Hey, if I have a couple of slow months, George looks good to me.
Bud's going to move over here to seat 2. Seat 3, excuse me. Three-way action here, limped around. King Jack 3, misses everyone.
Obviously, we're having fun here at Live at the Bike.
Button. Check around.
And it got checked around here.
Well, they've picked up some gut shots here.
Yeah.
Frank and Marciano have gut shots.
4-5 and 4-6. Ace
Lee's-
high is still good
yeah.
here. Rivers a 10, ace high, looks like it's going to take it down.
Yep, Lee's got the nuts. Send it to Papa.
Boy, we haven't seen Lee really play at all tonight, Dave, have we?
No, if he's in there, he's got it.
Very few games.
I will. Thank you.
I don't want to win.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Very embarrassing.
Send it to Papa.
Other hands. There's nothing
I
you can
will.
show.
Dave, you think that the Colts are going to go undefeated?
True.
I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know. They got a couple of tough games, and they're playing against a couple of teams that need it more than they do. You know, playing San Diego this week's a tough game.
At Seattle, too.
And at Seattle's
Yeah.
a big game. And if Seattle hasn't clinched home field yet, if Seattle's already clinched his home field throughout, well, then neither team needs it, and Indianapolis might win. But if Seattle needs the game and Indy doesn't need the game, well, then who knows?
No, remember I laid down 9?
Motivation's obviously a huge factor in these games.
I had King 9. Want to call 10 more? Yeah, the 3. I didn't see
Pot's
it.
limped
If
around
I did,
here.
I would have called.
Limped around again. We're getting four-handed. So that's an $80 pot.
Yep, because we're playing $20 big 20s in the big blind. Queen 6-4 with a couple of hearts. We got a flush draw over there for Lee. It looks like he's got the King 9. He made a lot of money with this hand earlier in the night. It's the one hand that he's won. And he made the flush on the turn.
That is 60.
And we got a $60 bet here by, I believe, by Lee. And Marciano's going to call.
I got to tell you, lead bets, I'm out.
Doesn't matter there with pocket sevens, even just one overcard. Turns an ace.
What do I want to be in there? Lee's in there. Come on. And Lee's
Lee's
going to
gonna bet
continue
AM.
betting, yeah.
120.
That's the one benefit. You know what? I like Lee's play here. Nice play. A lot of players that play really tight and only play 3 or 4 hands really wait for the nuts. But Lee used his image, his tight image, to take that pot away on a semi-bluff. You know, he obviously needed a heart, a king, or a 9 to win that hand, so he figured why not bet and just take it down without even hitting it.
Button's going to move over there to Frank in seat 5 as I continue to intertwine this conversation with NFL football. I don't think that the Colts really care, Dave, about going undefeated. I mean, why would you play your start? Like, why would you play your starters in Seattle? It just it
I
makes
think
no
that's
difference.
rhetoric. I think that's a bunch of crap. I think that what management's coming out and saying
70.
and what they're actually going to do are different things. I think going undefeated is a very important thing.
Really? Why? It's totally meaningless.
It's not though. You look at if you remember the Super Bowl teams of the past 30 years, you got it. You know, you think of like the Dolphins of '72, of course, because you're going, wow, they're undefeated. Nobody's ever done it before.
Barry raised here with pocket 8s, and he got called in a bunch of spots. Well, he's flopped open-ended here.
Yeah, and he's still got no, he doesn't have the best hand. I'm sorry, Frank's got a 9.
Yeah, and I don't think Frank's going to go anywhere with the 9. I mean, playing 9-4 offsuit to a raise. Has Frank played every hand?
He's played about 93% of the hands. Literally.
Barry's going to bet 250 here.
If we were on the internet and we could actually see percentage of hands seen the flop,
Frank calls.
He'd be at a lot.
Frank calls, and he's in the lead right now.
Few players.
Pot's about 900 here as we go to the turn. Turns a 7. And you just, what is this guy calling with? Thing is like you don't necessarily put him on an 8. I got 2 8s in my hand, Dave. Barry
Okay.
bets 300.
Couldn't he have a 10 or 9?
And Frank calls. And the river's a 4, and Frank has the best hand. Barry checks, and Frank's probably going to check right behind him.
And I got to tell you, I like the check there by Barry. Against a lot of players, you can represent diamonds there. but I don't know if Frank's going there. You know, if he's thinking that far.
And Barry does not look too pleased.
Yeah, I don't know if Barry could have gotten him off the hand, to be honest with you. Maybe he could have. Who knows? But he would have had to bet a lot to get him off.
Boy, I mean, if these guys play, you know, like you said, you really want to value bet against a guy like Frank and a guy like Jesus. If you can hit a hand like 2 pair, or even if you have top pair with best kicker and you know he also has top pair,
Right.
boy, you can win a big pot, can't you? I mean, you can almost definitely double up if he's got you
You'd
covered.
imagine so, yeah. It'd be tough for him to get away from the
Yeah.
hand. Yeah, Frank's had a blessed night tonight. I don't know. I think these players are going to play to win. I mean, I just don't think you can get in there. Mike Shanahan for the Denver Broncos actually made a mistake. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. His team had wrapped up home field like week 13, and he sat all his players the last 3 weeks, and they lost in the opening game of the playoffs.
Well, you have to keep them fresh. You're right.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's hard to turn that competitive,
Right.
competitive switch on and off. You know, football players, you got to keep that going.
4-way action here. I believe we had a pre-flop raise, and the flop comes Queen 3-7
I
here.
can write it down. I write it down.
Frank has got a gut shot here in seat 5.
Mo's got such a distinctive voice, doesn't he?
And Jesus was the raiser pre-flop with pocket 5s, and he looks to have the best hand here. But Frank says he's going to give him action here with the gut shot.
Take it.
Pot's about 700 now. Here we go to the turn. Turns a 6, and Frank's got the pair now, which is the best hand.
Yeah. It's a pretty exciting 6.
You go first.
And both are drawing to the same gut shot.
Yeah, he needed a 4, obviously, but the 6 will work just as well.
Check here. And the river gets checked down, and 5-6 is going to take it down.
Yeah.
Sixes.
And Frank takes down another hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also another thing with the Colts.
Not the big blind, Mo?
Their offense was a little bit off for the Colts the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. People were even commenting, what's wrong with Manning? What's wrong with Peyton? And the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've been on fire. And I'm just wondering if you really want to turn that switch off, you know, because football is so much about
Well,
timing.
I think you make a good point. I don't think that they would ever completely say Peyton Manning's not going to play this week.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I'm saying.
They might play him for like a quarter, though. Or
Yeah,
like
I
a
think-
half. Especially, you know, especially if they go 15-0. If they beat San Diego and beat
Seattle.
they're home against Arizona the last game. I mean, they can jump out to a 35-0 lead in the first quarter and then just, you know, go into the second string.
Right, I wouldn't be surprised if he played a full game, you know, this weekend versus San Diego. Maybe played 3 quarters for Seattle.
Yeah.
And then maybe only played a half or even a quarter versus Arizona.
Right.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
But I think they're still going to play to win.
All hearts here. Queen 5-9.
You also check that?
Yeah.
Nobody's got really anything. I mean, Mo's got the best hand with 9-3.
Pot was limped around.
I'm assuming Mo's in the blind there with 9-3.
Turn is another queen, and the 9 right now is good.
Yeah, is Mo going to fire this year? He's doing some work. He's not even paying attention.
Put a deuce up there.
I'm gonna steal this pot right
And Mo has the best hand.
Actually, no, Jesus has made a straight. Look at that.
Look at that, the 6-8.
Yeah, he hit his gut shot.
Would you put a bet in now?
I think you have
Late
to.
position.
Can't bet 10, 20.
Does he know he has a straight? I don't think he knows he has a straight. Because it got checked around.
The interesting thing is that now Jesus throws in a little $80 bet. Does Mo
Oh, there you
call?
go. He's going to bet now. He bets 200.
180.
Now, I wonder if Mo's going to call this. Most players, if they've given up on the pot, they kind of just go, you know what, I haven't fired at it all. I'm not going to get beat.
Oh, there you go.
There
Great
you go.
instincts again.
Well, Kathy Liebert said that. And I really took it home. It's a really smart statement. Kathy Liebert said, if I've given up on the pot and I've kind of checked it, I'm not going to lose a lot of money just because I let somebody else get lucky.
Right. Like all of a sudden this guy bets and my 9 might be good, but then you look and, he got, an extra 2 cards for free. Nobody
Right.
bet, so
Exactly.
why get involved with it?
You know, I let the guy get there, and now I'm going to give him $200.
Papa rain?
Wow, and Lee is going to come into, he's going to brace under the gun game, which probably means he's got a great
Yeah, and we don't
hand.
even know what his hand is yet, but I'm going to guess minimum jacks.
Well, we
right?
don't know what it is. Now, Barry's got ace-queen on the button. And seat 9's got ace-king.
That's Mo.
And it is jacks over there.
Okay, there.
And
And
this is going to be an interesting one.
And we had no idea what he had. I was going to say minimum jacks, maybe ace king.
Barry's going to call it. Let's see how Mo's going to play it.
Now, Mo is not privy to the fact that Papa's only played about 6 hands all night.
Well, he calls. Yeah, but he probably knows the player, though.
Yeah.
5 players.
5-way action here.
I'm gonna check an ace.
$400 pot. Mo says I'm going to check and raise. 9 deuce 6. Well, jacks are still good here.
Yeah, I don't believe Mo's going to check and raise this one. I think he's going to check and fold.
Lee bets
That's 300.
300. And is Jesus going to get involved here with pocket fours?
Yeah, I mean,
Nope.
well, he throws it away even before Frank can. I think this is going to fold away, and Papa's going to take it down.
All
Barry
right.
shows ace queen. I don't know if Lee's the type of guy that will fire there, like with ace king on that flop.
Yeah,
early
and
positioning.
with 5 players there, I'm not
Yeah.
sure he would. I got to tell you, I like Lee's game so far. He's patiently waiting for the cards, gets paid off, playing at ABC, and he still makes money at this table. And I want to say he's probably our big winner tonight. He's probably up close to $4,000 tonight.
Well, there's a look at the purple chips, which are $25 chips. And that little gray chip is a $1,000 chip there. Yellows are 5s, blues are 1s, and of course the browns are 10s.
The magic of no limit hold'em. I mean, you don't really need to have that. You don't have to play that many hands to win.
We use about 6 or 7 different chips in this game, Dave. Where I say it's like 20 hold'em, we use one. You know,
Yeah, pretty
two-
much,
two
just
chi-
5,
two
yeah.
different chips.
Tino de marihuana. Cilantro.
Jesus limped in here, 6-7. Frank limped in, 4-5.
Raise it, 150.
And Barry Woods is going to raise it up here. He's got ace-9.
He buys himself the button there.
Now-
Mo actually had ace-4 suited on the button, but he mucks it.
I don't know if I should go. You haven't played that many.
He's gonna call. That's all I need.
There you go. Frank calls and Jesus calls. Chances are Barry's not going to hit this.
3 players.
Because, you know, one of the aces is already mucked.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Can I go all in on the dark?
Say it. Yeah, they can.
Well, king, queen, 10 here, all hearts. Barry's got the highest heart.
Your first hit.
What the hell did I have? Check. The fourth hard flush.
And Barry actually doesn't fire at it. Turns a 9.
Beautiful.
And these guys are drawing dead, by the way, to Barry. Unless they bet.
What does that mean?
They cannot win the pot.
Well, it's going to get checked to Barry, and he's going to bet no. 300.
A jack would actually tie the hand, but neither player can beat him.
Let me have one. I'm chicken out. Let me have one.
Well, actually, he would win with a jack. Cause,
Oh, right. He'd
he's
have
got
the ace high yeah.
straight. Yeah.
So they actually are drawing completely dead.
Right.
I mean, he has ace-9. You look at that board, and they can't even possibly beat him. And they called a raise.
I play shit. I could win a pot.
Button's going to move over there to Eric and seat 1.
Fuck in the ass.
Got maybe 15 minutes left in the show
Yep.
before my weekend starts, Dave.
Is it double fist night tonight or no?
You know what? I'm taking the day off. I'm actually taking some time off as a New Year's resolution. I mean, we went and we partied last night at the Christmas party, and then I realized as to why I don't really drink when I need to play here the next day, because I'm mentally cloudy. And for you and I to be mentally cloudy can cost us thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you know, maybe I was mentally cloudy on Tuesday.
I think so.
What did I do Monday night? I was here. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
Frank limps in with the good old Jack Rag offsuit. But look at Barry. He's in there with Jack 3 offsuit.
Okay. Nobody.
Eric's going to limp in with Ace 6 offsuit.
Jack 3 off
Look
suit.
at
What is
this
Barry trying
crap.
to hit?
Once we get these cards up here, this is amazing.
I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, I'm not
They're not all blind
I'm not
hands.
going to talk about Frank's game at all, but Barry is really trying to improve himself as a poker player.
Right.
What are you trying to hit with Jack 3 off suit? I mean, you
Well-
can't bet the Jack. You can't bet a 3. If the flop comes out like Jack 10-3, you don't even know if you're any good. I mean, what do you really want to hit?
Marciano's got the best hand here with Queen 9. But look at this. Barry is going to bet here with the pair of 3s. Bottom pair. And Marciano, he's going to check call here with the Queen 9.
Yeah.
And I think that Barry's probably going to take the card here on the turn. Marciano checks, turns a deuce. I mean, there's no real draw out there, right? Barry checks behind him. The river's a 10. Marciano checks, and Barry's just going to give up here. I think you can almost put that guy on a weak king or a pair of nines, but can Barry bet him off the hand at some point? Do you want
Well,
it?
yeah, if you
Once you
put
get called, do you just forget about it?
That's interesting. If you put him on a 9, you probably can get him off the hand. If you put him on a king, you can't get him off it at all. And is it worth it?
Right.
You know. Interesting update here. We get the final table of the Bellagio Poker Classic. Looks like Joanne Liu, JJ, is in first place. Daryl
Gigabet,
Yeah.
he actually is a 2+2 poster. That's kind of a big deal.
He's in second place with a lot of chips. Phil Locke in fifth place. Doyle Brunson in sixth place. But all of them have a lot of chips. I mean, even Doyle's got 1 million chips still.
Now, Mo has got ace-jack here in seat 9, but seat 3 and Marciano's got pocket queens. And he is going to raise it up out of the blind. I think it was limped around. Did Mo just limp in there with the ace-jack? Actually, Mo raised a little bit, Dave. And so Marciano has re-raised.
And how much has he re-raised?
He's only made it 100. Pretty small with queens. I mean, my
So
God.
Mo made it 50 and Marciano
Something
made it...
like that. Look at this. Mo's flop top 2. And here you go. Is Frank going to go broke on this hand? He's got ace-deuce.
Uh-oh, wow. This could be interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Now, Barry's got a second pair. He's got a jack. And Marciano obviously has queens. Now, we saw Marciano call down the whole way with sixes. Is he going to call down the whole way with queens?
Well, he did it before, too, with queens. Mo has made a $120 bet, Dave, into a pot that was $500. And look at this. Marciano can't get away from the pair again. And now it really is time for Mo to value bet here, right?
The only thing I'm wondering is why did he bet so small? Obviously, I know he wanted to keep some people in, not scare everybody out. But isn't that somewhat of a scary board?
$860 pot here. And Mo could really win big here. Oh, the turn is an ace. Are you kidding me, Dave?
Oh, wow. Frank has got a lot of money. Let's check how much Frank has.
Wow, and so does Mo. And it went check, check, and the river's an 8. Mo needs to move all in here at the end.
Oh, my gosh.
And Frank checked 3 aces again. Are you kidding?
Oh, my.
It
What
gets
is Mo going
checked
to
to
do?
Mo. The pot's about $900. How can, I mean, is Frank scared of his kicker?
The interesting thing is that Frank is after Marciano. And with 2 aces out there, you might get a call here and a call there.
Mo's going to bet 400 and queens call. Let's see what Frank does.
Oh, Mo is going to be sick because he knows
If
he can
Frank
make more
check
money.
raises here, Mo could have all his stack.
Wait a second. I'm giving Frank credit here. Frank looks like he might muck.
Wow. I guess
This
he's
is
not going to
fabulous.
check raise. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we got to give Frank a little more credit than we've been giving him. Because he's talking about his kicker. He knows that he's in trouble.
Some of them is not going to have
And when this guy bets and this guy calls, you go, wait a second. Can I really beat 2 players?
He's just gonna call.
Pocket queen. That's a force.
And Mo called out Marciano's hand again.
Yeah.
the nuts.
Well, the thing about, I mean, sometimes I'm not a huge fan of the way that Mo sometimes slow plays hands. Obviously, you can make up in no limit more money on a further street by checking on the turn, maybe waiting something to catch up. But obviously, he could have made a ton more than that probably. By
Well,
betting
if
his
you
hand.
know exactly what everybody has,
Right.
yes. If you know Frank has an ace, yeah, it's really easy to.
Yeah.
But I will give him credit in the sense that he did get the overcall. Actually, I called him 2 spots. In hindsight, yeah, he'll probably talk about it. He goes, wow, I probably could have bet 400. I probably could have bet 400 or 500 on the turn.
Maybe bet like 2,000 on the river or something like that.
Maybe
you
bet
know?
1,000. I don't know, but Frank looked like he almost laid down the ace deuce there.
Well, I think, but he was more concerned about the guy kept calling between there.
Right. I mean, it would have been interesting if he actually gets Frank out of the hand. I mean, if he gets Marciano out of the hand, does Frank call a bigger bet?
Barry is raised here to 80 with pocket 4s, gets called in 3 spots, and he hits a set. Let's see how he's going to play it. And Frank's got top pair. Oh, wow.
But we've seen Frank. I mean, Frank plays the game. I mean, he knows.
And I
that
love the way that Barry bets it anyways. Just like he'll bet ace-king here. He's going to bet 140.
Yep. And the pot is the small bet, though. The pot's what, $300 already?
It was about 360. Pot's now 500.
Why? I mean, bet more.
Of course you call me. You gonna suck out on the river?
And Jesus calls as well with bottom pair.
Deuce now?
Turns a king. And it might be a little bit of a scare card for these guys
Well,
now.
they're drawing dead.
Barry's going to bet here again, 400.
And the interesting thing is, Had Barry bet 400, he would have gotten called in one spot.
Right.
But he bets 140, it's called in two spots, and now they might both fold. Let's see.
Right. Wow,
No, he's
Frank's
gonna
going to call.
Okay.
Can you imagine if a jack comes out here on the river?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Okay, don't put a diamond out there, Wayne, or I'll kick your ass.
River's a 9. Right, checks.
And Titan Barry bet a nice little $800 bet here.
He's only going to bet a little bit, 400 here. 400 to about a $1,500 pot.
Pocket 6 is good?
Perry says pocket 6 is good. I don't think he'd bet pocket 6s there at the end, Barry. I don't buy it.
Tell me what
No.
I am, I'll give you $100 back.
What would he bet there on the river? You got to start thinking. What would he still bet? Why would he? Why is he not taking the free card? Is he bluffing? Did he have diamonds?
He might bet ace king. He might have run into a pair on
That's
the
the whole
turn.
point.
Oh,
You
yeah,
gotta
Frank
start-
lays it down.
Not even close.
You got to start thinking of what would he still bet in the river.
Right.
Obviously, if he's bluffing, he has to bet if he has diamonds. Or what hand is he comfortable? Would he bet ace jack there? You know, you wonder. Wait a second. Would he bet? You know, king jack? I don't know. I mean, would he- all different things. King jack's 2 pair. Obviously, he probably would bet that.
Yeah, I don't think he would probably. Well, I don't know.
It's an interesting. You know,
Well, Frank has showed me that he's actually laying down some hands that aren't top pair on the river, so I might necessarily not bet something like an ace jack. Although
Yeah.
he hasn't really check raised the river though, so you don't necessarily have to be scared of that. You know.
well, Frank is pretty passive. We've only seen him bluff once tonight, and his bluff didn't work. Marciano called him down with
Right.
sixes, but he's really not very aggressive. He's not going to push it too much. I mean, think about it. The hand where he had the flush where he made the money off of Jesus, he just called. He didn't push.
Four-way action here, limped around ace 4-5. Sean in seat 7's got bottom 2 pair, and he's going to come out betting. Anytime, that's Shaheen, right? Sean Shaheen. Anytime he's going to come out and bet here, Dave. Boy, you almost put him on a minimum of ace king.
Yeah, he's got a big hand.
Yeah. And he takes it down.
You'll see him maybe play, you know, one hand every half hour, one hand every hour. I mean, he just doesn't play a lot of hands.
Pretty tight, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's one of, if you have to say the top 10 tightest players here, you know, Ali might be number 1. He might be number 4 or 5.
Yes, cocktails. Hey, Sus, you want a Corona? No. This will make you feel better.
Look at this. We got a post here by Chester on 2+2. He says, Lee is a great example of the idea that poker isn't about playing great. Poker's about accumulating money. Freddie Deeb said that you don't have to be a great player if you make solid decisions pretty consistently.
Interesting post there. And that's the truth. I mean, a lot of people, you know, it's sexy to make a big bluff or to make a big, you know, stuff like that. But sometimes in a game like this, if you play ABC and you play it really straightforward, you can win money.
6-way action here, limped around, $120 pot. Jack deuce 7 with a couple of spades. Once again, no one has a pair except for Lee, who's got a pocket 5s. And he has the best hand. Turns a 10. Oh, now Jesus has a pair. And so does Marciano.
Yeah, Marciano's got a bigger hand, though.
See if Marciano's going to put in a bet here with King 10.
I bet Jesus is, though. Oh, no, there.
He's going to bet 60.
Okay.
And Jesus calls. We're heads up here. And Marciano's checked blind here. And the river's a 6, and Jesus makes 2 pair. Time to value bet here, right?
Definitely, especially if the guy's checking blind to me.
And he's going to bet.
120.
Bets 120 here.
And he's going to get K'd off. Nice value bet there.
10-6. Wow.
Yeah, the guy checks blind to me. I'm pretty sure he does not have 8-9.
Turn and river races. Yeah. I think you're sitting too close to seat number 5. It's catch.
What a treat we've had. We've got Jesus all night long.
Right. Well, I think he said that his name was up on the Mexican poker board, but I don't think they called it off.
You gotta start playing crap cards, huh?
We're going to look at another chip count here. So Barry, you know, he hasn't lost a lot. He hasn't won a lot, Dave. He's kind of stayed pretty consistent all night.
Yeah.
And that's actually Mo over there in seat 9 with $5,400. And Lee is up $3,500.
Yeah, I want to say Mo was probably up about probably about $1,500. Actually, probably about $2,000 now. Between his first 45 minutes and then the last 30 minutes. Big night for Lee though there. Shaheen, he always buys in for pretty small. He buys in for about $1,000.
Pot's limped around 6 ways here. Here we go.
Getting word that Phil Locke just busted out.
Wow, seat 8 there, Barry. He's flopped second nut flush. He's got King 9. No one has the ace of diamonds in his hand. He's checked it from up front. And Jesus is going to bet 50 here with, it looks like king deuce.
And he's got bottom pair.
Let's see what. And Barry's going to check raise a little bit here.
I don't think you got it.
I was gonna wait.
And Jesus calls, and boy, if Jesus hits a king or a deuce here, oh man, well, it turns a queen.
And Jesus is officially drawing dead now.
Barry bets 100. And Jesus calls.
Come on, deuce.
Oh, the river's a queen's going to kill a little of the action there.
Funny thing is that Barry's rooting for a deuce, and that was the right card. Smart.
I haven't done anything yet. 100 I pay. 100 you pay? Okay.
Barry bets 200 here. And Jesus folds.
Barry's kind of hoping, goes, well, okay, 100, maybe 200.
And this is going to be the last hand of the night.
This is it, huh?
Another week down in the annals of Live at the Bike.
Yes, you can catch us every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific time.
You trying to cover the table?
Have a great weekend, everybody.
15,000.
15,000? Wow, he said 15,000.
Mo wants to cover the table.
And, of course, you can always watch us on the archives.
Right. Just $14.95. You get access to every single show we've ever done.
Button's going to move over there to seat 8.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I'll make it back. He's fierce.
Once again, I mean, do we ever really see Mo lose? I mean, it really is rare.
He has bad nights here and there, obviously. He's been playing pretty well the last.
Are those all white chips in that rack? Did he, like, rebuy for a lot?
He wrote in Persian.
Holy smokes. Well, maybe he's not bringing that on the table. Oh, actually, it's funny. Mo thought he was writing a $1,500 marker out, but he actually wrote 15,000.
Well, it's good to know his credit's good.
Thank you.
Actually, he does what I do, Dave. He keeps a player's bank here, not really
Oh, to me?
marker.
Well, it's stupid to walk around with a lot of cash.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to leave a casino with
Especially,
cash.
I mean, Mo. I mean, he's got a lot of money, obviously.
Come on, just put 5 in for blind.
Plus, he's the host of the game. He might loan people money, and what we saw on Wednesday, Avo gave him Bellagio chips, right? That they wouldn't cash here. Limped around here 6 ways, last hand of the night.
If everybody checks, I won't look.
King 8-3 here. God, we saw so many deuces here tonight, but no one ever has hit a set of
Yeah,
deuces.
nobody said a set of ducks there. I'll tell you one lesson there is you never really want to have a lot of cash. I mean, I never leave the casino with more than, say, $50 or $60 on me.
Okay, I'll make it 10. Hold on.
That good? That good, Barry?
Oh, Alan called here a deuce 5. Turns a 10.
I mean, you try to make a rhyme and reason
Frank's
to it.
picked up a flush draw, and Frank makes a backdoor flush draw. A flush.
Everybody check.
See if Frank's going to bet here. He's going to bet.
Now, Frank is betting on the river. That's got to be either a complete bluff or a monster, right?
I mean, Barry bet the flop. What did Alan misread his hand?
You'd like to think so. I mean, right? I mean,
Pocket pair, no good.
he's trying to pick.
Big hand, man.
Yeah, he's trying to pick up a draw to a draw.
Hey, what are you talking about?
What a night, I swear. It's like the Twilight Zone here sometimes.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you again for joining us. And again, you can check out the show on repeat all the way up till tomorrow. Go Patriots. For everyone here in the booth and for David Tuckman, have a great weekend. Good night, everybody, from Live on the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.